and August, okay? Thank you all. And then Ms. Fincher had requested, we have an elderly resident who's been here since 3 o'clock and has an extension of time. Can we call that out of turn, Mr. Chairman?
Absolutely.
Okay. Melanie, you want to call the case? I think it's page 204. No, that's not it. Okay, it is page 176. This is an extension of time in the code check agenda. The address is 4140 Northwest 17th Avenue. That's your case. The case number is 000-41878. Address 4140 Northwest 17th Avenue, page 176, extension of time in the code check agenda.
Good evening.
This is my first time being called elderly in public.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. I bet I call myself elderly.
Listen.
Could you give us your name and address?
I'm elderly. Don't worry about it.
please
My
state your
personal address is what you need.
And your name?
Okay, my name is Minervy, spelled unlike it sounds. MC capital Nervy. Last name D as in David, Ickey. Middle name Lee. And I am elderly. I have to face that, don't I?
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
And
It's all in your mind. Don't worry about it. It's all in your mind.
And my left knee. My need is because of a situation that I didn't have anything to do with. I came in, the people had put things on a lot that they had asked me to declare a registered vacant lot, I believe. And when I spoke to them, they wouldn't move anything. And now there's 2 persons on it that I didn't know were living there, but I did know in the end that they were.
how much time do you need?
He said 2 months to get himself off.
60 days?
Yeah.
Say it
Is that what
again?
you're asking for?
Right, and the only problem that we have is that we are in the middle of hurricane season, and we do have illegal storage of
Yes.
vehicles on the property. So I want to hear from the director as to what his position is.
So, good afternoon, members of the board. So I'm trying to put on the screen the pictures for the case. So usually on something like this, we wouldn't oppose, but one of the violations is for unauthorized illegal storage. And I like to see that because we are coming up for hurricane season and I don't want any flying debris. And I understand the respondent, and ma'am, we would love to work with you, but let me see the pictures for everyone to see.
It does. It says certificate of use. It's commercial property. Is that a house? Vacant lot. So why they asking for certificate of use?
What's the issue with the cars? Can they be moved?
Why are we acting for?
Ask her.
I had the impression that since it was a contract between the city and towing companies, I could call a towing company and they would come take, but that's not the case. It would have had to been on the easement, and I just got that information yesterday.
Why do you have cars on your property? Whose cars?
Why
are
do
they?
I have?
Here's the photographs, folks.
I don't own any of that. It was put on that land by a man named Ernesto Prieto, and he's not in the country, and they treat me like I'm elderly. But
Is this
the
your
man-
property? Ma'am, is that your property?
I can't see it so well.
You can't see it? That is your property.
I've been successful in getting some of it taken off, but he's replaced it with other stuff.
Northwest 17th Avenue.
Okay. So.
Can she have the stuff towed if it's a violation? Can she work with the city? I mean,
Yeah, but that's the wrong address.
The GIS links that's 4140. We need to correct that. But the concern is, right, you have the record reflects that you still have vehicles there. You can't hear? Sure. So they all want to work with you, including me. We want to work with you. The concern is you have all these vehicles there and stuff that could create a hazard should there be a hurricane, and we are coming up. So do you think in 60 days, within 60 days, you can fix that? You're working on it. Mhm. Yeah, put that
You
on
have
the
to
record.
speak on the mic so they can record it.
Sí, pero
Okay.
sí, dáselo.
So a question,
Objection, no objection to 60 days, Mr.
I'll move for
Chairman.
60 days.
I just have a question. Why did she need a certificate of use for a
Second.
vacant lot?
Okay. So wait, we have a
What's your
second,
question?
right? We
To-
moved in second for 60
Stores,
days.
stores,
We're
the
not
director,
discussing.
why did she need a certificate of use if it's an empty lot?
You need to ask that to a respondent.
That's
What is that
storage.
item there? Storage.
We have a first and a second.
Yes, you do.
So are we going to discuss it? Is this part of
I
discussion?
I want to know why they're asking for a certificate of use when it's a vacant land.
Well, it's the city asking for it. Right?
I'm asking the director who's
Right.
the one has to
No,
kind of tell me.
ma'am, you have to stay over there.
Let me, just
Don't worry. I know, I'm so sorry.
There's no question for you.
I'm waiting.
So she has a question.
Right, so the
who's
bottom
gonna
line is, if you have storage, you have to get a CU. If she removes the vehicles, she doesn't need a CU, then everything is complied. I'm not sure where
So
we have to cite them for everything. It's, you have unlawful storage of vehicles there. If you're gonna store vehicles there, you need a CU and a BTR, so I'm not sure. I mean, we could be here all night, but I'm trying to get to where is the question?
Madam City Attorney, I think this might be helpful. What can the city do to help her remove these vehicles?
Okay.
I mean, I
So
think
let me
that's
answer
the
that.
What we do is if we hire a company, it is a non-mitigatable fine on the property owner. It goes anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000. So it will be an actual lien because it's actual costs that are being incurred by the city on her behalf. And we do that. We go to court and we make the court impose it on people if they don't do what they're supposed to do.
Can she call a towing company and have them remove this property and then store it and let the owners of the property deal with it? I mean, that's what you would do in a normal
If
situation.
if a business wants to say, we're going to remove these things and we'll wait and see if somebody else pays for the storage, that's fine. That's not
Right.
our role. We're not
Right.
the private property owner.
I wouldn't get into the legal advice as to what she's lawfully allowed to do, because I think we'd have to do with posting and things like that.
So
For
to the answer to
for the
Ms.
time being, we do have a first and a second. Can we take a vote?
You want me to
He's
answer
waiting.
her question? So the question is, why is there a CU BTR on a vacant lot? Because there's storage of vehicles and it's a prohibited use and unpaved surfaces. She can either go get a CU BTR, which she cannot, or she can remove all the violations, which complies the violation. The inspector, all the inspector did was check all the boxes that applied.
Okay. Is
Can we
any
give
of
her
the
the
board,
60-day extension and have her
is
speak to you?
anybody calling the question so that the vote can take place?
He's trying.
We have a first and a second. Do we have a, all in favor? Aye.
60 days. 60 days. 60 days.
60 days.
Calling next case.
All right, call the first case, to be heard
We
now.
are in the to be heard code check agenda. The page number is 158. The address is 2225
Ask her if
Southwest
the
16th Street.
contact information
Case
for her
number
inspector.
000-77657.
Freaking out.
Page 158, address 2225 Southwest 16th Street. Page
Point the jewel.
158.
He's not here.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You speak English?
Bonjour.
Yeah.
Please say your name for the record.
Jose Melvis Garcia Hernandez,
Your address.
2225 Southwest 16th Street.
You're pleading guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
City, you want to go ahead?
Sure. Inspector Henny Cristobal, Southeast Office. This was infraction of building a driveway and a fence without a permit. Mr. Garcia has been in constant communication with me, including but not limited to 3 times that I have noted on the actual case through CoCheck. His efforts have been fluid. There's a lot of moving parts to this case, which include he's having, and this is unbeknownst to me as until about an hour ago, he's having some issues with his property line according to the survey. So there's a possibility, as Mr. Garcia articulated, that he's going to probably have to knock down his fence that borders the neighbor on the east side. So given these circumstances and his continued communication that he has initiated with me, I'm asking the board to at least extend them 90 days to come into compliance.
No objection.
I'll make a motion for 90 days.
This is to be heard?
This is to be heard. And, okay, so 158, so, and this is a single-family residential or?
His homestead.
His homestead?
Yes.
So guilty, 90 days, $150 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
I'll make the motion as stated, but does he have anything he wants to
Second.
say?
Do you want to say anything?
Huh?
Did you want to say anything?
I'm working on it. I'm trying to get everything on permits. So we submit all the permits. I submit, we hire a general contractor, me and my wife, to put everything back on permits. So we are waiting on the city to pull off all the permits. We did everything. I want to get in over. I don't want to be here anymore.
Is 90 days enough?
I think so. I just need that the city give me the permits so I can.
But the city
start.
is not going to give you a permit.
Huh?
You have to apply and do
I
all
already,
the
we already
paperwork.
applied. I did everything the city want to me.
So
I
you
also-
have plans and the city submitted?
Yes, yes. we
You
submitted
already
the plan.
have been approved?
Yes, I hired an architect and I submit the permits and all the plans. They make plans for me. So we submitted all the plans to the city last week. I think.
Last week?
Yeah, last week or 2
So
weeks
he's
ago.
going to need more than 90 days.
Mr. Chair, do we have a motion?
I just.
already?
I'll withdraw the motion and make it a
No,
motion
so-
for 100.
Hold on.
So for the record, just put I built, the permit originally applied, created on February 12th, 2024. So he has been working on it
Yes.
and they are in review.
Okay.
Okay. So the motion with
I'm
withdrawn.
going to withdraw the motion, make it 120 days.
I'll second.
Yeah.
And 150 because it's a homestead.
All in favor?
Aye.
On behalf of the respondent, thank you.
It'll give you time.
Link page number 150, address 1125 Southwest 6th Street, case number 000-79156, page 150. To be heard, code check agenda.
Good evening. State your name for the record
Joel Figueroa,
and your address.
1125 Southwest 6th Street.
Do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Yeah, guilty. Yeah.
Okay. City, go ahead.
Magali Jensen, co-compliance, BCO. I cited them for no CO and BTR. And I just spoke with them and he already applied. And he's in the process to comply with the violation. So I'm requesting 90 days.
So, okay, so we're requesting guilty, 90 days, 250 thereafter?
Yes.
I'll make the motion as stated.
Sir,
Second.
do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Would you like to say anything?
No, I'm fine.
You're fine with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have a
Go ahead with the
motion, it's been seconded.
Yep, we made the motion. He
You have a
seconded
second?
it. Yep.
I second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Calling next case. This is page 45. This is to be heard, code check agenda, address 34 Northeast 11th Street, case number 000-72646, page 45.
Good evening, Kevin Cruz, Greenspoon Mortar. Office is located at 600 Brickell Avenue, here on behalf of the property owner, Park West Development, and the tenant, Club Space. We plead guilty and are requesting 120 days to come into compliance. We have plans in the system. They just need revision. I also think this violation is kind of holding up the issuance of the building permit. We plan to come into full compliance, get a permit for the drain pipe, which Inspector Francois cited us for, as well as ameliorate the sidewalk issue to come into compliance with Public Works.
Inspector,
Francois?
you agree with the 120?
Please, but just provide a brief synopsis for them.
Inspector Francois, after hours. I issued a violation for work without a permit because I received an email from acting supervisor at the time, Gene Noel, regarding illegal work that was done to the club. Apparently, they have a drain pipe coming from out of the building. We didn't know what was coming out of it. I issued a ticket for substances going into the drainage system, and I also issued a violation for work without a permit because they did work to the sidewalk. They put a drainage pipe under the sidewalk, and they need to have that corrected.
So, counsel, for the record, tomorrow I'll reach out to building and I'll lift the hold because your violation, the building permit technically cures a violation. So I'll lift that hold.
So we're requesting a guilty, 120 days, $250 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
Motion as stated.
You good with that?
Pardon?
Is that what you're okay with?
Yeah, I was requesting 120 days. The venue, so you know, the venue's completely shut down for major renovations. It was all over the news over the weekend, so I'm sure you all are familiar.
So we recommended 120 days.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Take care.
Calling next case, page 108. The address is 95 Southwest 48th Court. Case number 000-61241, page 108. Address 95 Southwest 48th Court,
What's the page number, Melanie?
page 108. Page 108. 95 Southwest 48th Court.
Good evening. Please state your name for the record
Deborah Ross,
and your address.
95 Southwest 48th Court, Coral Gables, Florida, 33134.
And you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
City?
Inspector Torres, co-compliance after hours. We received a complaint from Public Works. There was neighbors complaining that this area from Flagler all the way to the 4th Street Southwest, it was getting flooded every time it was raining hard. So we decided to do an inspection. There were a total of 10 cases open on that side of the road. As you can see, they had the swell. It was paved and also the driveway. So we decided to open those violations for work without permits. So I've been in communication with the property owner. They're working on the permits, but they need more time to comply. So
How much time are you recommending?
I'm recommending 120 days so they can finalize the
Let's
permit.
give them 180. So for the record, they initiated the process. There's some correctives, some corrections needed with building, but at least they initiated, and so that's very thoughtful. And this is happening gradually. We are working with Public Works and addressing some of the concerns because there's water runoff concerns,
So-
serious concerns.
So how many neighbors have the same thing?
I opened for 10 neighbors, and I was adding that Public Works, they actually fix most of the swell for some properties. I don't know if you can see.
Member
one of those.
Betancourt, hundreds.
Yes.
Hundreds.
I don't know if you can see one of the pictures in the case that.
They're coming. We're going slow. We're eating this elephant one bite at a time, but whenever there's a significant rain, it has nowhere to go.
Yeah,
Right.
we were trying to make sure it wasn't singling out one.
We're not.
Right.
It is, we're doing this progressively and comprehensively.
So we're recommending guilty, 180 days, $150 a day thereafter.
Motion. Second. Discussion?
Did you want to add anything?
Yes, I want to add for the record that I purchased a home like this the inspector explained to me that when I buy the house, I buy the problem,
Yeah,
but I just want to put that in the record.
it's on the record
It's
now.
on the record.
Thank you.
Okay. We have a first and a second.
Is
All,
is 180 days okay? Can you get, is that enough time for you?
I started the process. I am working on it. I'm trying to fix it.
Yeah.
I'm trying my best.
You can
Okay.
always ask for
You can always
extension.
ask for extension, but we just want to make sure we're trying to give you enough time because it's gonna
That's
be
our
more.
homestead, so.
Yeah, that's your homestead.
Yes, it is.
180. He
Okay.
said 180.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
so we have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
So you have
Thank you.
180 days, 150, right?
180.
No, I'm talking about 150.
Yes.
Oh,
The
150,
per
yes,
diem.
$150 per diem, yes.
Thanks. Thank you.
Just a moment, Inspector Torres. You can remain there. Calling page 111. The address is 101 Southwest 48th Court. Case number 000-61240. Page 111, address 101 Southwest 48th Court.
Okay.
Mi nombre es Dinora Borroto González. La dirección es 101 Southwest 48 Col. Coral Gable 33134.
Please state your name for the record.
Dinora?
Borroto.
Borroto. Dinora Borroto, her address is 101 Southwest 48 Court.
Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Go ahead, Sadie.
Okay, Inspector Torres with code compliance, same neighborhood, same situation with work without permit. So they're being pretty much working on the permits. Public Works, they finally fixed the swell area and they actually need more time just to comply. They have an engineer working on permits and general contractor and everything else.
So one guilty,
I'm
180, and
requesting-
150.
Correct.
Motion as stated.
Second.
Ma'am, would you like to say anything?
No.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye. Can you please translate for her when you leave the podium so that she knows it's 180 days, $150 a day thereafter?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Inspector Torres, you can remain right there, please.
Okay.
Calling page 83, address 31 Tamiami Canal Road, case number 000-71115. Address 31 Tamiami Canal Road, page 83.
Please state your name for the record.
Good evening, Heriberto Martinez,
Your address.
31 Tamiami Canal Road, Miami, Florida, 33144.
Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty for the violation, but I want to make a comment that I bought this property.
Wait. Let the city talk and then you'll have your opportunity, okay? Go ahead, city.
Okay, Inspector Torres, code compliance, BTR check, BTR task force. This business was cited at the beginning for no CU, no BTR, and there was work without permit for the signage. At this point, at this time, they already complied the CU, the BTR, but they're still working on the permit for the signage.
Yes,
And what are you recommending?
I'm recommending 120 days so they can go ahead and finalize the signage permit.
Okay, so we're recommending guilty, 120 days, $250 a day thereafter.
Motion as
No,
stated.
no, no.
That's not, that's a commercial. That's commercial T6 and it's a business.
Go
Right.
ahead. You can
Yes,
go ahead and explain.
I bought this property 22 years ago. The sign was there from that time. I never have been doing any alteration on the sign. I don't know why after 22 years ago, I'm going to find a violation for the sign.
Gotcha.
But you know, whatever violation, I will fix it. I will take the time.
So let me put this into the record, okay? Because oftentimes we get people that come here and say, it's been 2 decades. And I'm going to say, right, people say it should be grandfathered. In order for something to be legal, non-conforming, it has to be legal first. So the fact that it was erected without any permits technically takes away the fact that it's been there 20 years. So we now identify it, we now cite you, we provide you a reasonable time to comply, and we hope that you get your permits. We're not looking to issue you fines, but it needs to have permits.
Okay.
It kept really good for 22 years. That sign looks perfect.
Really good.
Much newer, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, okay.
Do I have a motion?
Motion as stated.
No,
Second.
so how many days you gonna planning on giving him?
They asked 120 days, $250.
But that's for the sign only?
No, for the whole.
For all the
For the sign,
violations.
the CU and the BTR is complied, so they
Yeah.
already obtained the CU and the BTR.
So why so long for, why are you asking for so many days for just a sign?
Because he's trying to get the sign permit.
Because I spoke to the property owner today, and he was telling me that that type of signage is not permitted in the city
So
anymore.
so he knows he's gonna have to remove it
So he-
or do a new one,
Correct.
Yeah.
but that's not gonna be 180 days, it's just a sign.
I'm just recommending 120 days.
120?
Yeah.
Second.
Any discussion?
No, I just wanna know how many days you guys are planning on there, you just. I
The
think
motion
it's-
was for 120 days.
120.
All in favor?
Aye.
No.
Aye.
Roll call.
Okay, calling member Reeves-Tasker,
Yes.
calling member Keon Williams,
Yes.
calling chair John Kunil,
Yes.
calling member Rick Madan,
Yes.
thank you, and calling member Martin Zilber,
Yes.
okay, and calling member Brenda Betancourt.
No.
It passes 5-1.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, calling Mr. Torres, Inspector, please remain there.
Okay.
Calling page 18. This is address 4000 West Flagler Street, case number 000-84425, page 18, address 4000 West Flagler Street. Mr. Dombrowski?
Yes, that's right. We want 24 hours.
And
We're gonna skip
$1,000.
this case.
Okay, we're skipping the
Calling
case?
page,
Oh.
I'm sorry. No. Calling page 24, address 921 Southwest 29th Avenue, case number 000-83566, page 24.
Please state your name for the record
Hi, Zaira Duarte,
and your address.
I have
92
no idea.
921 Southwest 29th Avenue. No, 29th Avenue.
And you plead guilty or not guilty?
Okay.
Okay.
Did you get a
So
viol-
you have a violation pending. Okay. City, proceed, and then you can have an opportunity if you want to explain.
Okay.
Vanessa Pino, Code Compliance Southeast Office.
Go ahead, provide synopsis.
So I cited for vacant, blighted, unsecured, failure to register. They have since registered. Failure to maintain, outside storage, and facade. They have applied for a demo permit a few days ago, and they are going to demolish the structure. But it hasn't been secured. I explained to them they need to secure it so that people stop going in there because the homeless have been going in. They're gonna obtain the signs with the police statute, the Florida statute, so police can remove them if needed. And they're gonna work on cleaning up the property.
Right, so this is to your benefit to register so that police can go on without having you show up on the property to tell them you can go on.
Yes, they did register. They just have to put up the
sign.
official sign. Yes.
City, what's your position, recommendation?
They just applied for the permit, but I would like for them to secure the property as soon as they can, because there is other stuff going on there. People are hanging out there. So that needs to be done as soon as you guys can get that done. So I would say,
The citation is in March, right?
yes,
We are in June.
yes.
Can you guys do this in 30 days?
So they can secure the property in
You just
30
put the
days.
plywood and the windows
I'm just
and doors.
asking them if they can secure it.
Yeah.
There was a miscommunication. She was communicating with her brother. I'm the contractor. He never told me about the
It's a
plywood
contract.
on the windows and all that. And I just found out today, I told her that this Wednesday's gonna be done. Okay, so 30 days not an issue. Well, 30 days, remember, there's a process for the demolition.
No,
To
just to
secure the
secure the
property.
property.
Secure the property to be done this Wednesday.
Okay. So
Okay,
30 days.
so We're going to make a motion for 30 days. Once the inspector closes out the section of the fine that deals with securing the property, she will explain the process to seek an extension of time for the remaining, okay?
Do I have a motion?
Wait, guilty, 30 days to come into compliance, $250.
Motion as
500,
stated.
I'm sorry, 500 per the director after 30 days.
Motion as stated.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just a moment for clarity of the record. 30 days and
$500.
$500.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Case, this is page 37, address 1280 Northwest 60th Street. Case number 000-82320, page 37, address 1280 Northwest 60th Street.
Hello,
Hello, good evening.
please state your name for the record
Hector Greenspoon,
and your address.
1280 Northwest 60th Street, Miami.
Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Okay. City?
Anishka Anderson, Inspector, Co-Compliance Inspector North. I cited the property for not having a certificate of use and a business tax receipt. Yesterday, I went to the property and I approved his certificate of use. He says that he has all the other inspections approved, so right now he just needs to submit that and apply for the business tax receipt, so.
So
I told
30
him-
days?
Excuse me?
30 days?
Yes.
So he's done with the certificate of use?
Excuse me? What did you say?
No, you say something about it was signed.
She
So,
said.
I
for an
approved his certificate of use yesterday.
so you went and did the inspection for the certificate of use?
Yes.
So he still has to go through the rest of the inspections in order for him to finalize his.
No, he says he has all his inspections. He has DERM, he has fire, is what he told me, so. Right now, he just needs to turn it in, and then he can start with the business tax.
And for the record, the business tax receipt process will take you 15 minutes when you come to our office.
So it's guilty, 30 days, 250.
Motion as stated.
Would you like to speak? Would you like to say anything?
No, we just passed all the inspection and we got the certificate of approval from the county, the DVPR. I sent everything to zoning yesterday late. So now we are waiting for the CU and then apply to the BTR.
And you're good with 30 days?
Yes.
Do I have a motion?
Motion as stated.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
$500 per day, right?
No, no, 250.
250.
Guilty, 30 days.
Did you see the building?
Yeah, but that was the motion. I mean, is the violation, are you saying that it's in disrepair? Are you saying that that's not the violation?
This is a
before you?
CUBTR.
This is not the violation before you.
This is not somebody that's allowed.
Remember, they have
property.
better memory than you guys. Every next case is when you say something about,
I-
no, I will
I
remind
want
you.
you, that's a great point. Put it on the record. Could you put the picture back up?
Yeah.
So,
It's a
sir,
building.
it is highly likely, that's unsightly, that you may get, you need to work on your CUBTR, you're almost there,
That's the
but
only
that
thing
building
we
needs
have.
to, looks unsightly. So it is possible that you may get cited. Just letting you know, very transparent. Ms. Board Member Bettencourt just brought it to our attention. There it is, you tell me.
Okay, so.
Do you understand what
what's-
he's asking?
He's
Do you
not.
understand what he's asking?
I don't even understand what he's asking.
He doesn't understand a word you just said.
Come on over here, sir, and he'll explain it after they do the final vote of the board.
I thought we had done the final vote.
Did you do the?
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Well,
You want to
she
do a roll?
voted no.
She voted yes, and then afterwards she asked you.
Oh.
No, you
I
say.
know, but you
I
voted
understand.
yes.
I'm gonna remind all of us, since I'm the oldest member in this board to be here, that it's not just about saying stated. It means you repeating the motion because you are saying stated, but I don't know what your motion is. It is because
Well,
if
you,
I don't say
Okay,
you
hold on.
voted on the motion.
Hold on.
so I
Hold
think it
on.
would be
Ms.
nice if we
Bettencourt,
can
you
just
voted on
repeat
the
it.
motion yourself. The city
because-
made them.
Folks, the chairman is speaking. You always have to defer to the chair.
Just for clarification, we took a vote. Do you want to withdraw your vote and we do a roll call? Because I want to get the record right.
to me, it's just about I didn't know the amount.
Right.
That's what when they say, everybody say just yes, because we all are like in such a hurry that we just vote yes.
The
right?
amount, the
So
amount is,
amount was not mentioned. The question to me is, please, it's not that hard to say 30 days, 250, 300,
No,
whatever it
But
is.
there's
Let
no
me-
need to
let-
when we are making a motion
let-
based on the city's
Guys, what are we doing?
recommendation.
guys,
Somebody take control. Let's
are
move
you,
on.
are you comfortable with the
Move on.
$250 fine? Is that a yes or no?
Yes,
Okay.
just to move on.
We already voted, right?
Yes.
Let's move
Yes.
to the next one, right? Good. Thank you.
Next case.
Thank you. Go speak to him, okay? Thank you.
Just a reminder, Mr. Chair, just real quick. I understand what,
Inspector Anderson, remain at the podium, please.
I understand
Calling.
what Member Bettencourt is saying. When you guys make a motion, just don't adopt the city. Speak it so that
Speak it.
Melanie
Thank
can
you.
take it down as well. It's really for clarity over here as well, because we need to jot it down.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll just
Calling.
clarify, even if we're restating what the city's position
And
is,
that's fine.
we'll state the days and the amount.
And part of that, and while I appreciate it, part of it, I would rather you go with me than with the director, but a lot of times we don't agree. So,
City can mean different things. We should state what the motion is. Everybody said that.
okay.
Calling page 48. This is address 895 Northwest 60th Street, case number 000-76774, page 48, address 895 Northwest 60th Street.
Please state your name for the
Good
record.
evening. My name's Ivania Gomez,
Your address.
895 Northwest 60th Street.
Are you guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
What was that?
Guilty.
Okay. City, proceed.
Anishka Anderson, Code Compliance North. I cited the property for parking storage of inoperable and untagged vehicles. Outside, also outside storage. They had a lot of items stored outside when I first cited it back in February. They have moved a lot of it, but they still have a lot more to move. And also there's vehicles that are not properly tagged that they have to take care as well. I said that I would recommend 30 days. She asked for 60, but I want to make sure that they keep working on it. So I would say 30 days.
Your recommendation is 30 days?
Yes.
Director, do you have anything?
Allow me a second.
So,
No, go ahead.
so even though it's owned by an individual, it is being used as a storage facility. So we're going to make recommendations based on a commercial use, which is what she's doing.
That's a T3. Why did you have those there?
I'm not sure what you're asking me.
Brenda,
I'm
what-
just trying to explain why I'm going to make a recommendation higher than what homestead property is. So I'm requesting guilty 30 days and $250 a day thereafter.
Would you like to respond?
Yes, that vehicle is no longer there, that truck. I'm trying to remove a lot of issues, that we had with the property. I do have certain vehicles in there. They are tagged and registered.
Mhm.
I was just wondering if I can ask for, I don't know whether it is that you asked for in order, so I could keep the vehicles in there. At least two. I don't know
Well, you need to,
what I can
You-
have in my yard or what I.
for that information, you need to talk to the inspector. Is 30 days enough time to get what you need to get accomplished?
Well, I always keep in asking information for her and, so she can
Okay.
tell me exactly what I need to do. And we've been communicating.
So it's not just the vehicles, ma'am. You have cement blocks, you have
Trash.
trash
Tire.
cans. If you look at the pictures,
Yes.
Tires.
it's a
Slightly.
unsightly.
I understand.
Okay.
Yes. I
So
understand.
that's why we're recommending guilty 30 days. We're in hurricane season and $250 a day thereafter.
I'll
Can
make
I
a motion.
have more time?
I'll make
Yeah.
a motion for 30 days, $250 thereafter.
Okay,
Second.
Is any discussion?
Just
Why are we spending more money than a normal homestead?
She said because she felt it was being used in a commercial.
She's
Because she has
using
commercial
it as a
vehicles on the
store, a
property.
parking lot. She's using it as a parking lot
commercial
for
parking lot.
vehicles, both tagged and untagged,
Or storage.
Yep.
in the middle of a residential district.
Yep.
How many vehicles of my own can I have
So
in my own
here's
yard?
the answer for you.
Yes.
We are not going to tell you how many vehicles, as long as they're duly tagged, but there is regulation that they must be stored, parked, and on an improved surface. Parking under a tree, I don't know if it's got a tag or not, but technically that's a violation of the zoning code. So if all of them are duly tagged, you can have all of them as long as they're on an improved surface.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Can't be on the grass.
cannot be under the
Can't be,
tree,
you
cannot
know.
be a commercial truck, those type of things.
Yes, the truck and all that is gone. Yeah.
I just have a question. Why do you need so many vehicles? A vehicle per person?
Actually, no. Well, I guess that's you, but that's just, you know.
Yeah.
You cannot just let people park in your property if they
No.
don't live in the house with you. They have to live in your house in order for you
I mean,
to
I
store
could
the
get
car in
into
there.
details, but for instance, the black vehicle that's under the tree, that's my first vehicle. My mother gave me that vehicle. I'm not gonna get rid of it just like that because a new one comes out every year. I'm not like that. That has sentimental issues. It has a tag,
Absolutely, but why do you
it's
need all the
registered.
others?
Maybe she's a car collector. I mean, what's the?
Well, she can rent a space where she can store the vehicles.
That's why I have a lot of yard space as well. I don't have the money to rent a storage unit.
The complaint came in as illegal mechanical repairs. I mean, I never
And-
saw it, so that's why I didn't cite it, but that's what it initially came in as. So.
Of course, I mean they're old cars. I mean that's a '95. That's they're old vehicles.
Allowed to work on your own.
And I just has.
Not in your car.
Has there been a motion or none?
There's a
I made the
motion,
motion.
30 days, 250. It was second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Calling next case. We're calling page 18, address 4000 West Flagler Street, case number 000-84425. Page 18, address 4000 West Flagler Street.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. How are you?
I'm well.
Bert Hernandez on behalf of the property owner.
Name and address? Oh,
4909 Southwest 74th Court, Miami, Florida 33155.
Guilty, not guilty?
Guilty.
City?
Inspector Torres with the BTR task force. I was a proactive inspection to this building for CU and BTR. During the inspection, I realized that the lobby was closed, so I came around and I saw that the lobby was covered with paper on the wall. So and there was some noise coming out of that location. When I asked, checked the CU and the BTR, when I asked if there was any construction going on, they say no. They deny the access to that particular location. But it was provided later on. I would probably say like a couple of days later, they gave me the access and they were building a second floor on a lobby without permits. So I made, there's some pictures. No.
Here.
Down.
No, it's not that one. It's this one.
What's the story with the inside of the office? What's the problem with that?
No, the office, the CU, and the BTR, they were okay for the university. It's like a technical institute, or like a university type of, so they have classrooms and all that. So they have the CU and the BTR that were okay for that, but I cite them for the work without permit.
So they had 2 stories in the lobby and they were trying to close
No,
off
the lobby is
the other?
supposed to be only one high ceiling, just like this
Right.
one, and they just throw a second
closed it
floor.
off, yeah.
Yes, as you can see on those pictures.
There you go. Floor. Yeah. They built an entire floor.
They built it. No.
So
They built
we're-
the entire floor without
Yeah,
permit?
yeah, that's what he's saying.
Yeah, that's
They built
side
an
beams.
entire floor in the lobby right here.
You
it
see, that's
is.
side beams right here.
So, and that, that could become a life safety issue.
Yes, big
So
time.
but you're recommending 90 days?
I'm recommending 90 days. Yes, correct.
So guilty, 90 days, $500 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved. Are you recommending an irreparable harm fine?
Yes, correct.
That's
Oh, boy.
15,000. Are you recommending it or not?
Let's go a little bit lower then. So it is our position to add an irreparable for 5,000.
5?
Mr. Hernandez?
Mr. Chairman, we need more time than 90 days to disassemble what was built without a permit. We have plans that we're submitting for actually, it's not a demolition, but we're going to bring it back to its original state, the lobby.
and 90 days between what the city has to review the plans that are being submitted, the review process, and then doing the disassembly. 90 days is not enough.
Yeah, but the problem is,
Just to keep your eye on it.
yeah, the problem, Mr. Hernandez, is your client had to have known that they were doing illegal work, number one. Number two, this is an illness that they created for themselves.
Right.
If they are moving forward and they're keeping the inspector advised and giving access, very important, then I'm sure that once you file for an extension of time, he'll recommend more time.
We have no
But you know what I'm saying? It's just, I mean,
That's
even
fine.
you had to be shocked.
That's fine, yes, that's fine. We can deal with that.
And for the record, I checked today and there's no permit at all. And I cited this property in March,
27.
almost 3 months ago, 2.5 months ago, and still no
I'm
permit.
going to move for 120 days, $250 fine, no irreparable harm, and that they must be giving a weekly notice at least, or any notice to the city
But they
when
won't.
required.
No, no such
And we're
thing.
recommending $500 a day and the 5,000 because
So
this is
no one will
unseen.
second my motion if they don't agree.
Okay.
Do we have a second, Judge? No second? Dies. Do we have another motion?
I'll make a motion.
Just think
for-
about that you have students in that building.
Yeah.
Look at those
I
pipes.
agree, they need to start taking them out.
I'll make,
Because he got caught.
I mean, we can always have the fire
Well,
marshal go in and
she's
shut it
making a
down.
motion. Let her make the motion and then.
I'll make a motion for 120 days, $500 a day, $10,000 irreputable harm fine, which meets the city and code in the middle.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's going to be 120 days, $500, 120 days, $500 a day, $10,000 irreparable harm.
Right, but I don't think we have everybody voting for it.
Roll call?
Is anybody objecting?
Reeves-Tasker?
Yes.
Calling member Rick Madan?
Yes.
Thank you. Calling Chair John Kuhnel?
No.
Calling member Brenda Betancourt?
No.
Calling member Keon Williams?
Yes.
Calling member Martin Zilber?
Reason for no is the fine, or for what?
Fine amount, irreparable harm.
High.
High.
Yeah, no.
Okay, is there another motion?
New motion?
So I'll move a motion for 100, everything the same with the irreparable harm being 5,000, not that.
Okay, so you're moving for guilty, 120 days, $500 a day thereafter, and $5,000 irreparable.
Hold on, Madam Attorney.
Correct.
Hold on.
Sí, sí.
Quick, to the chair. Did the motion pass? Based
No.
on-
No, it's 3-3. Didn't
It was
pass.
3-3.
So I just made a new motion.
Oh,
So I want to say something really quick. This
I-
is a
if
school.
I
But
would-
before we
I
discuss,
will
somebody
revoke-
has to second or not
I
second.
will revoke my vote from no to yes, just to pass, so we can move on.
No, that's not how it works.
It's
So I just
Robert?
made a new motion. Not how it works. It
Okay,
died. I
hold
made a
on.
new motion. Does anyone second it?
Do we have a second on the
repeat the
motion for
motion?
120 days, $500 a day, $5,000 irreparable harm?
I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna make a new motion for $2,500. You can second it too,
I
by the way.
seconded it.
Oh, you did
The
second it?
problem is the
Okay.
days, you're giving it more days for them to do whatever they want.
Second it. We'll
This
vote.
is a
You can
I
vote
school.
against
seconded it.
if you
Okay.
want.
All in favor?
No.
What's the motion?
No.
Can
The
you
motion.
somebody repeat the motion that
It's
we have?
120 days, 500 a day, $5,000 irreparable harm.
Which was the city's original recommendation.
Correct.
So second.
Okay. All in favor?
No.
Aye.
No.
Aye. Roll call.
Calling member Martin Zilber?
Yes.
No.
Calling member Rick Madan?
Yes.
Calling Chair John Kuhnel?
Yes.
Calling member Brenda Betancourt?
No.
Calling member Reeves-Tasker?
No.
Calling member Keon Williams?
No.
Okay. Again, it failed.
The city recommend 90 days, $5,000 and 500. So if that's what we're gonna go for, that's a different story.
Would you like to make the motion?
I will make a motion for 90 days, $5,000 and $500 a day.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Okay.
Roll call.
Calling
Roll
member
call.
Brenda Betancourt?
Yes.
Calling member Rick Madan?
Yes.
Calling member Reeves-Tasker?
No.
Calling member Keon Williams.
No.
Calling member Martin Zilber.
No, because again, you think it's too high or too low?
Too low.
Okay, and calling chair
It's
John
too low
Cornell.
and it's a school.
Yes.
And I
Okay,
say
fails
yes.
3
And I
and
say
3.
yes. And I say yes. I never voted.
Okay, you want
Get
to
away
change
from my
it to-
vote.
okay,
It was a
you're
yes, so
yes.
it went through.
It passes 4-2.
Okay, I'm just writing this down to be sure that we are all on the same page. Guilty, 90 days, $500 a day thereafter, 5,000 irreparable.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. And my understanding from the board in the discussion was that if your client is denying access to the inspector, we will recommend no on any further extension. I just wanted to be sure.
And that was the reason I voted no, and this is a school. I want that on record because
problem.
this is a crisis if
I got
something were to happen with children. So I just want that
When
to
do
be
you
on
want-
record.
When do you want to go see the property?
Say it again, sir?
When would you like to
Okay,
go see the
call the
property?
next one.
Calling,
Yeah, we coordinate, that's fine.
calling page 97. The address is 555 Southwest 27th Road. Address 000, I'm sorry, case number 000-82608. Address 555 Southwest 27th Road, page 97.
Please say your name for the record.
Richard Newman,
Your address.
2900 Northwest 130th Ave, Sunrise, Florida.
Do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
City?
Good evening, Eric and Senosa, co-compliance after hours. This is a group email from Rhodes Homeowners Association. They were complaining about all short-term rentals. I cited the property, I found the evidence, cited the property. They complied immediately, and I'm ready to comply with the violations. They just had to come here for adjudication.
So we're asking for guilty, 5 days, $500 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved, but he's going to close it out tomorrow.
Sunday.
Can you repeat that, City?
Guilty, 500.
Motion is stated.
Can you bring up the Airbnb listing, please?
Yes.
Hold on. Yeah, hold on before we recommend.
We have to see the whole case before we even open for.
We're seeing the reviews. I want to see the original listing.
That was the original first listing you see where it shows you some of the pictures. And I took some screenshots of the reviews. At one point, they had 30-some reviews, and then they had 40-some reviews. But once I cited the property and they made contact, they removed the link. I have one screenshot of just the Airbnb generic link where it shows it was complied. There's date and timestamps in the bottom right-hand corner.
Is it only listed on Airbnb?
I'm sorry?
Is this property only listed on Airbnb?
I can't understand what you're saying.
Is this property only listed on Airbnb?
Correct, yes.
And what was the original
Well,
complaint?
it was originally listed on VRBO and.
Yeah, but the complaint is sometimes for
Roads.
neighbors to complain is because they block the street, they park in front of my driveway, they have, loud
Make a lot of
music.
noise. They make a lot of
So why
noise.
is it
in the
Right,
house.
but
I
but
was
my
assigned,
understanding
a list of
based on
20.
the inspector, explanation to me was that this individual did not know that short-term rental was not allowed. When the city told him, you are in violation of our code, he immediately took it down. Is that correct? That's why we're not asking for an irreparable. That's why we're adjudicating it so that he understands if he goes back on and does a link or has people, links are one of the elements we look at in order to cite people. But if he does short-term rental again, then we'll come back for 5,000 a day and then it'll continue to increase.
I'd like to hear from a respondent because I
Yes.
understand on the sidebar with legal, I'm saying I'd like to have an irreparable, but I know that he cooperated. Let's hear from the respondent.
Sure, yeah, we've been operating a short-term rental business for quite a lot of time from Weston, and we have several properties there.
Okay.
One of the first people to be licensed in Weston, and we've been operating the roads for 3 years, and much to our surprise, we received a violation.
You did not know?
No,
that
we did not.
The city of Miami operating a short-term vacation rental for less than a month, it's illegal.
Correct. Yeah, when we first went to the area, we looked at Airbnb, and you see hundreds and hundreds of listings, so that's what we went with, and we've now since converted to long-term.
So, and let me hear on a positive side, once you heard from Inspector Encinosa, how quickly did you remove the links?
It's literally a click of a button, so it was immediate.
Do you have any contracts right now that you need to abide by?
Contracts?
Contracts
No,
for short-term vacation rental?
no, there's no guests or anything. It's been
And
empty.
so what's your long-term, sorry, I need to ask you this because we haven't met, but
Yeah,
this
it's
is-
listed on the MLS long-term. My brother's a realtor and he's been getting showings.
you're looking
for
to
it.
do a sale?
No,
MLS?
rental.
Okay, that's a rental.
Mhm.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so Inspector Encinosa, based on your testimony and the level of cooperation, you did not recommend any irreparable,
No.
and I'm okay with that.
Do I have a motion?
Motion,
Well, I
5
wanna- I
days,
wanna-
500.
Well, first of all, I want the board to make sure that we realize that Newman Hospitality does
Well,
have.
let him make the motion real quick. See if there's a second, and then we'll discuss the ancillary. Go ahead with your motion.
Motion, 5 days, $500.
Second.
Go ahead. Discussion?
Okay, so we have, do you own the website newmanhospitality.com?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, what was your question? Do I know it?
So you, yeah, do you
Yeah.
know, okay, that's your website?
Correct.
Okay, so you still. No, he owns it. I asked him, did he own the
No,
website?
no, I
or
don't. I'm not
does
the-
he know
I'm not the
of-
owner.
Is that your website? Or your
That's my company's website.
Your company's
It's not,
website.
I'm not the owner of the company.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. But you still have the listings in City of Miami for other properties within City of Miami. This is your business. You said you had multiple homes within the roads, correct?
No, we don't have any homes in the roads. That's the only one that we have.
This is the only one that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I misunderstood. I thought that you said that you had multiple homes in the roads.
No,
Um,
no, I mean, I have multiple homes.
Yeah, because I know this is an area where I live right around the corner and the neighbors in this area, in these areas have.
So Ms.
massive
Tasker,
amount of time.
let me say this for everyone's benefit. Should we identify another Newman Hospitality property within the city of Miami, that property, along with this one, is subject to the repeat violation at $5,000 per day. So Florida statutes 16207 talks about a repeat is of the same individual in any other property of the same violation.
You understood that, sir?
Yeah, I understood that. If there's an owner with a second violation, then there's a repeated fine.
Right,
Got it.
and also, and he had, Mr. Board Attorney, he had a power of attorney for this?
Yes, I gave it to.
And if in
There's
fact.
like 10 properties in Miami. They're all on his website.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them.
Okay, so we'll check them all out. Thank you so much.
I'm looking at it.
But,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
okay, sir, you need to be aware that now you're on our radar. At least you're on the board's radar, which is even worse, so, or Newman Hospitality.
Got it. Thank you.
5 days, 500, right? You got that?
Yeah.
Thank you. Calling next case. This is page 101, address 1445 Northwest 56th Street, case number 000-82142. Page 101, address 1445 Northwest 56th Street.
Please state your name for the record,
Rafael Hernandez,
your property address,
1445 Northwest 56th Street.
guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
City?
Anishka Anderson, Code Compliance North. I sat at this property for a fence without a permit. I opened the violation back in March. I checked the system and he does have a process number. He started in May, so hopefully another 30, 45 days, he should have it completed. So
What's your recommendation?
I would say maybe 45 days.
45 days. City?
Okay, so, I always like to round it in decibels of 30, 60, 90, so I would say guilty, 60 days, and $150 a day thereafter.
Would you like to make a comment?
60 is fine. Also, that picture of the garden, is that my home?
That's an old picture before the fence.
Oh, no, wait, is it? We could open that picture with the roses between the two fences, the one that's hovering right now.
You want to look at it?
Yeah, I just want to make sure because that doesn't seem like my home. Just because I believe that's the neighbor you were taking pictures of that day of as well. I'm assuming they have.
No, I got it from another case long time ago.
Right.
Where the
That's
fence
the
wasn't.
home across from, and that's not my area.
Okay, well, we're here on the fence issue and you pled
Right, I just wanna
guilty,
make sure
so, and
that
you're getting 60
whatever's-
days, so.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I just want to make sure the record doesn't.
Okay.
So we
I
have
don't
to
want
move
to
to
find something else.
All right. Do I have a motion?
A motion for 60 days, it's a home, so 150.
Is it homestead?
And find the property, no, it's not homestead.
Not homestead.
You want to do
Second.
250?
250.
Okay, I will move for
Do
250.
you live on the property?
Yes.
Oh, you do?
He
But it's not
probably
homestead.
just- Right, but
I don't, what I.
the
how do
property
I-
appraiser is one of the issues
How do
that.
I get a, how do you do a homestead or get a homestead? What is
You
that?
can, yeah, you can, they will send you documents to your house if you actually live there.
So I'm
Um,
recommending.
Homestead exemption
So
would
homestead-
would help you save money on your taxes is what they're.
And
would be
if you
great.
have any violations,
And
we'll
you
be
should,
more
if
lenient.
you
too.
are living there and this is your home, you should.
So I'm repeating.
Board
I'll look
member,
into that.
board
60
member
days, 150.
Betancourt.
So
What
it
you
will
want to,
be, so it will be 60 days, 150, and find the property guilt.
do I have a second? Any discussion regarding that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And sorry, one more thing, just for the record, I just wanted to, I guess for the record, though the reason why the abrupt, quick trying to, I did it myself actually, install this to the code of the city's websites and stuff, was because there was a break-in and entering earlier in the year. It's an I bought the home, existing metal framed fence with a metal lattice of some sorts. It was decaying and people could literally stick their hands and open my door. So I was like, let me see if I could do it. But that's just for the record.
No, and you need to check to see if you can get approval of the you just need a permit.
But for sure. No, I felt violated. So the day after I was just
Yeah,
on the move getting going and then.
completely understand
Yeah,
that.
and yeah, I've already, Anderson, officer said I already applied and everything.
Okay,
And I'll work the route.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Calling next case, page 105, address 329 Southwest 48th Court. Case number 000-61233, page 105.
Please state your name for the record.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Akai. I'm here on behalf of the property owner.
Okay, and she had a POA, power of attorney. And the address?
329 Southwest 48th Court.
Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
City?
Inspector Torres, when we opened this case, I was with the after-hour teams. This is part of the same neighborhood that we spoke about before, with the swell and driveway floating, the area getting floated. So I cited this property for work without permit. So property owners working on getting all the permits, but it takes time. So I'm recommending, since we're giving the same neighborhood 180 days, so they can come into compliance.
And the fine amount?
150. The homestead.
150.
Would you like to say anything?
No, that's awesome. Thank you, guys.
So guilty, 180 days, $150 a day thereafter.
Do I have a motion?
A motion for 180 days, $150 per day, and find the property guilty.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next case, page 120, address 211 Southwest 48th Court, case number 000-61236, page 120.
Hello, my name is Alina Blanco, address 211 Southwest 48th Court.
Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
City?
Christian Torres with the after-hour co-compliance. It was the same neighborhood, same neighbor, same violation. There was a swell and there was a driveway done, so they're working on permits, so they need more time to comply. They're working already with the architect, getting everything ready for the city. So I'm recommending the same 180 days so they can comply.
So we're recommending guilty, 180 days, $150 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
Do I have a motion?
Motion for guilty, 180 days, $150 thereafter.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Inspector Torres, stay right there, please. Calling page 123, address 201 Southwest 48th Court, case number 000-61237, page number 123.
Hello, please state your name for the record.
Miguel Rodriguez,
Your address?
201 Southwest 48 Court, Coral Gables, Florida 33134.
Guilty or not guilty?
Yeah, guilty.
Okay, city?
City Inspector Torres with the after hour. This is part of the complaint that we received from Public Works. Area being flooded when raining was hard. So basically, same thing, the swell was paved in the driveway, so I cite him for that. Property owner has been in communication with me, and he's working on the permits. So he's requesting extra time, so I'm recommending 180 days so they can come into compliance.
Okay, so we're recommending guilty, 180 days, $150 a day thereafter.
Do I have a motion?
Motion for guilty, 180 days, $150 thereafter.
A second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Ready? Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Calling next case, page 67. Inspector Torres, that's you again. 6151 Southwest 8th Street, case number 000-66377, address 6151 Southwest 8th Street. That was an attorney.
Melanie, what page?
Page 67.
Is this Victor's?
Yep.
861.
24 hours.
Yes, you.
Guilty.
Good evening,
Page 67, sorry.
Victor De Jure, 230 Southwest 62nd Avenue, representing the owner, S&I Properties.
Guilty, not guilty?
Guilty.
Inspector Torres went open the case with the after hours. It was a random check for CU and BTR, and this location was operating without a CU and BTR, so I cited them. And I realized that when I communicated with the property owner that in order for them to go ahead and comply and obtain the CU and the BTR, they need to change the use for the location. So they're in the process, and there were some other problems also with the building. They had an unsafe structure case within the same folio. So they were kind of fixing the unsafe first, and then now to do the chain of use.
So basically, we have the permit, we're doing the work, the physical work needs to be done. Once that gets done, then we can complete the process for the CU.
Inspector, do you have a recommendation?
So I'm recommending, since they have to do the chain of use, I'm recommending 120 days so they can come into compliance.
So they're gonna be
City
closed.
Attorney, do you have anything on that?
I apologize. I was responding to somebody's text.
Your inspector said 120 days.
That is perfectly fine. And this is a single family?
No,
Look at
No,
No.
$500 a day thereafter.
TikToky?
I apologize. No. I was an elderly gentleman.
Another elderly, you better be
Yes.
careful with that
No.
word.
He knew Robert from Miami Beach, and he's one of my Monty's regulars on the beach. And so he didn't believe me unless I sent him a picture that I couldn't go.
Mr. DeYer, are you okay with the 120, 500?
Yeah, we'll finish way before that.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Motion guilty, 120, $500.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, what type of business it is? Because we're gonna allow them to be there. You know, the structure is gonna be, unsafe structure is gonna be kind of a long time. Then he has to change the use. Then he has to do the certificate of use. This is gonna be like at least minimum a year. And we give him 120 days so he can come back. No, he gonna be good, but whoever is going into that store is not.
That's not our business.
He
just said that's enough.
It's an insurance office,
It's an insurance company
Yeah.
insurance office, yeah.
with the little
Well,
doggy on it.
And the issue is the wall with the neighbor, the party wall, and that's being done right now.
Okay.
So I think we'll be good.
Yeah.
Any further discussion?
Pero if not, he can.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Calling next case, page 144, address 1814 Southwest 22nd Avenue, case number 000-81104,
That has been reset.
along with page 147.
No. Only page 144 has been reset. Villas of Shenandoah LLC, 1814 Southwest 22nd Avenue.
Okay, 147 is also Villas of Shenandoah.
Is what?
It's also Villas of Shenandoah.
I don't know. Inspector, you continued one of them.
18. It's
1814?
18. There's no
18.
one-
Oh, my apologies. She continued 18.
The two sister buildings side by side.
Right, that's what I had said initially. Okay, page 144 is reset. The next one is page 147.
Okay, page 147, address 1818 Southwest 22nd Avenue, case number 000-81097, page 147.
Please say your name for the record,
Giancarlo Basagoitia.
your address,
This would be the property address, right? Not my personal.
whatever address you're at.
I'm at 5161 Collins Avenue.
That's fine. Okay. Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
City?
Magali Jensen, good compliance, BCU. Yes, they were cited for no CU and BTR. And I just found out they submit the application, they paid, and so now they're working on getting the inspection done. So 90 days should be okay.
Okay, so we're recommending guilty 90 days, $150 a day thereafter.
Yes,
This is a CU BTR.
yes. It's a commercial property and.
Right. 250. Okay. I've been past that building. It's beautiful.
We took you guys almost actually were, instead of demolished, we purchased them, we re-beautified it. So that one and the sister building next door.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you have anything you want to
Oh,
add?
I go by the guy and she's been really good at helping me. It's 90 days enough to go through Durham and everything. If you guys think so, am I okay?
If you see you're running out of time and it's coming on the 90th day, you should contact the inspector, but you can go online and City of Miami and you put in search engine extension of time. It takes you to the form. It's 4 questions. Your name, the case, what are you asking for? Extension of time.
If everybody likes what he's doing, why aren't we giving him more time now?
Yeah. Oh,
I don't understand.
We make a recommendation and you make final decision.
Right.
Plenty of times you adhere to it, plenty of times
I'll
you don't.
move for 150 days.
There you go.
I'll second. 150, but what is your
With the
fine?
rest of the city. Oh, so what's
Yes,
the
it's
fine
like
you're offering?
250.
Where do
250?
we, 250.
250 a day after that.
So how much
Extension,
time?
we can't get in.
150.
150.
The motion pending is 150 days, $250 a day fine thereafter. Do we have any discussion? It was second.
Second.
Taskers seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, you got 150 days.
Thank you. Have a great night, everybody.
This is, I don't know, there's.
We're going into the extension of time.
Buildings on 22nd Avenue, they're really neat. It's when Miami was.
Go ahead, Melanie.
Okay. We're going into the extension of time. This is page number 204, address 31 Northeast 51st Street, case number 000-49447, address 31 Northeast 51st Street.
Melanie, I know we're going into EOTs. Can you tell me for the record, I'm asking very openly, how many cases did we hear to be adjudicated? What's the number? Yes, ma'am. How many have we heard today? Oh, it's okay. I'll ask you later. But
Okay,
22, 23. Thank you.
okay, could somebody tell me what page number we're on this extension of time?
204.
204?
Please state your name for the record.
Jose Camero, my address is 2525 Southwest 3rd Avenue.
And you're here for an extension of time?
Extension of time, what happened is during the process, we needed to dedicate 5 foot to the City of Miami for a road expansion. All the paperwork has been submitted to Public Works. Right now, the paperwork was being sent to legal for approval of all the documents. If we meet the deadline of June 9th, that means that we will go on the second meeting in July. So that would be like July 20 something. If not, there's no meeting in August, and it will be September.
How much time do you need?
I would like to ask for 120 days.
Okay.
I have a question.
Go ahead, sir.
Are you going to be able to submit the documents by June 9th?
I'm sorry?
Are you going to be able to submit the documents by June 9th that they're asking for?
Oh, they have the documents.
Yeah.
It's a process. It is
It's a process. Once they review it, I'm the Public Works attorney, and I will be reviewing it. I'll be no, I'm only kidding.
Oh, that was a good one.
But anyway, so until it gets to me, I can't
And
do it.
today is what?
The 6th.
3 days. I see you in September.
Yeah.
I don't see you going anywhere.
Well,
but
send me an
not-
email tomorrow and we'll
Okay.
look at it. But what I was going to tell you was, look, I don't have an objection to 120 days because they're moving forward. There's activity. So.
Do I have a motion?
What's the recommendation for the per diem?
It's just an extension.
No, it's
It's
an
an extension
extension of time.
120 days, I'll move.
I was gonna say 180.
All in favor?
Aye.
He was gonna give 180, so.
Somebody just do it then.
Calling next extension of time. This is page 198, address 128, I'm sorry, my apologies. Address 1200 Northeast 87th Street, case number 000-77422. Page 198, extension of time.
Right. And just so that the board members, because a lot of you are new, we start to give more time because we don't have board meetings in August. And what we don't want is people to be like, oh my God, where is the board? Okay, so.
It's an extension of time, right?
Except for this attorney.
Just
Oh,
a moment,
boy.
my apologies. This
So you
case
don't give him
already
extension.
complied.
I had this listed as complied, but there's another case coming later on down the road about this.
Okay,
We
what
discussed
page
this.
was complied, Melanie?
Page 198.
Oh, comply.
I'm sorry. It's complied.
Remember, reject, 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 reject.
Okay, calling page 207. The address is 57 Northwest 2nd Street, case number 000-60460, page 207, extension of time. They are also here on another case, also an extension of time, page
Why I'm
210,
not surprised.
95 Northwest 2nd Street, case number 000-60461, page 207 and 210.
Yeah.
And your other one is
No, all three are extensions.
One at a time.
and he's also here, that's a different owner. He's also here on page 187 as well. I'll call that one next. All heard together. Page 187, address 175 Northwest 27th Street, case number 000-61659, page 187. All three are extension of time. Page 187, page 207, and page 210.
Okay, we're going to start with
One
page
at a time.
187.
Correct.
Go ahead. Say your name.
Good evening. David Moscoso, 2525 Ponce de Leon Boulevard.
How much time do you need?
So I'm going to request 2 months, and the reason for that is the director, the city manager, and the chief of police and I had a meeting the day before yesterday to discuss the issuance of a TCU for these parking lots. The city manager committed to accelerating or expediting the issuance of a TCU. So I'm going to follow up with the city manager based on this week's conversation and try to get a timeline for you so that if it's not issued within the next 2 months, by the next time I appear here, I have a communication from the city manager that can at least give us a time frame for what that TCU.
All right, so
looks
you're
like.
asking for 60 days, no
Yes, ma'am.
objection.
Thank you.
Okay, so that means you had your warrant?
Excuse me?
You had the warrant?
No, we're in the
Okay.
application process.
All right, I'll move for the 60 days.
Second.
All in favor?
I know you don't have the warrant, so 60
No,
days
no.
is not gonna be enough, but that's
Oh,
okay.
no, yeah, so-
We love to see you.
Okay, great, yeah.
Ms. Fincher, what's the next one?
Yep.
207 and 210. 207 and 210. 207, address 57 Northwest 2nd Street, case number 000-60460. Page number 210, 95 Northwest 2nd Street, case number 000-60461. Page 207 and page 210.
How much time do you need?
Sure. Just for the record, David Moscoso, 2525 Ponce de Leon Boulevard. Also asking for 2 months. And just to clarify, what we're seeking here from the city manager is a TCU that we'll be able to apply for, while our interim parking permits, which are all past pre-screening, and we actually just received final approval yesterday on one of them, are going through the actual normal process so that we can stay open.
Okay, so 60 days,
Yes, correct.
Board Member Williams?
I have a motion for 180 days.
180?
Do we have a second?
He doesn't have a
He's
warrant.
dreaming that he's gonna be able to get it done in 2 months, in 2 months.
It's not a warrant that I'm seeking. It's an issuance of a TCU from.
Right.
Board
And this
member-
is exactly the same as the immediate prior one.
Hold on, there's a motion pending for 180 days. So we have
I'll
a
second
second?
his motion so we can move forward.
All in favor?
Aye.
No. So what was it, 180?
Roll call,
What was it?
180 days.
Calling member Keon Williams.
Yes.
Calling member Brenda Bedingcourt.
Yes.
Calling Chair John Kunil.
Yes.
Thank you. Calling member Rick Madan.
Yes.
Thank you. And calling member Martin Zilber.
Yes.
Calling member Christie Tasker.
No,
It passes 5-1.
Next.
Thank you all.
only because he said he didn't need 180 days, so. I was trying to listen to both
Okay,
of you.
and we also
And,
have page
and he's
10.
gonna, when Mr. Lasso, the parking guy, calls him, he'll be in trouble.
Yes,
Mr. Lasso?
that's okay.
Mr. Lasso, Frank
From-
Lasso.
Frank
Parking.
Lasso.
From parking? He's gonna call me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay,
Why did
was
you ask
this,
for 180 days?
was this vote also for page 210? Or you're doing it separately?
Separately.
Separate.
Okay. So page 210, 60461 is the case number. Address 95 Northwest Second Street. Page 210.
State your name for the record.
Yes, David Moscoso, 2525 Ponce de Leon Boulevard. Reincorporating and restating the facts from the previous two cases. We're just seeking enough time to be able to get this TCU issued on behalf of the city manager.
How much is enough time?
I think two months is, I'd like to come back and
Same motion for me. My motion would be for 180 days.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No.
How much was it again?
180 days. We need a roll call.
Williams?
Yes.
Thank you. Calling member Rick Madan.
Yes.
Calling Chair John Kunil.
Yes.
Calling member calling member Brenda Bedingcourt.
Yes.
Thank you. Calling member Martin Zilber.
Yes.
Thank you. And calling member Christie Tasker.
No.
Okay, it passes 5-1.
thank you all. Have a great evening. Thank you.
Next case, page 173, address 8241 North Miami Avenue, case number 000-24077, page 173, address 8241 North Miami Avenue. Is that you?
Please state your name for the record
Ephraim Buedes,
and your address.
8241 North Miami Avenue.
Guilty or not guilty?
No, this
Extension of time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. How long do you need?
Inspector Espinosa is here, so that's.
120. Good evening, Inspector Encinosa, after hours. Cited them a while back. They had two separate cases.
2 years
One-
ago.
Yeah, there are a lot of resetting of quorums, but he's been working, trying to get this taken care of. It was basically for the CU BTR. He had a neighboring business. He complied that one quickly, but this one, he's got to get a change of use permit and a warrant. And he had to open up a building permit for it. So it's taken a while, but I'd recommend 120 days. He has been
2
in
years.
communication.
Okay.
City attorney, anything? 120
I
days?
defer to the inspector.
Is 120 days good for you?
I'll make a motion for 120 days.
Second.
Any discussion?
No, he's not gonna get the, if he's been there for 2 years, most likely, we're gonna see him in the next 120 days.
All in favor?
Aye. So I will vote for it, but he knows. He's smiling, he knows. We are just giving him a time, but he knows.
I believe the first time you were here, you also told him the same thing. It's going to take a while.
Okay. Okay. Calling next case, this is page 213, address 382 Northwest 24th Street, case number 000-38775, page 213.
Good evening, Board. Brian Dombrowski, 333 Southeast 2nd Avenue. We're requesting a 30-day extension. The permit was approved and it was pulled this morning. We've been in contact with Inspector Hernandez on the process, so he's aware. Just got to be able to move the fence back a couple of feet under the permit, get it inspected and closed out. I want to say 30 days, but I think 60 is probably more likely.
I will give you 60, but 60 is in August, and we're not gonna be here in August, so. Go for it.
Go ahead. Say it.
120.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
He's also here for 2 mitigations. We can go ahead and hear those
Bless you.
now.
Do we have more extension of time?
Yes.
to go through?
I'm
And the
just
people,
calling because he's also here for mitigation. You want to just continue or?
It's up to the chair.
I want to go through the extension times. Yeah, let's go through the extension times. We got people here.
Calling next extension of time. Thank you. That is, that is page 195. The address is 2600 Northwest Second Avenue. Case number 000333331. Page 195, extension of time.
Yes, good evening. My name is Ines Marrero. I'm an attorney with offices at 701 Brickell Avenue. This is a request for an extension of time for the TUP for the Smorgasbord event in Wynwood. I brought with me a copy of where we are on the processing, and we just paid for the CU extension, and that hopefully will allow the modification. So 60 days should be more than ample time.
Yeah, you are waiting for the TPU, right?
We are waiting for the renewal of the CU, of the TUP, which used to be done in the much missed net offices. Yep. And I miss them so much. And we're also modifying the TUP because we added garbage containers. We have an extra garbage container. And so we needed to modify the site plan. Those two things are being reviewed concurrently. It took a while for staff to understand how to process them through project docs. We got them. There's a process number for it. We don't have any outstanding open comments. We're just waiting for it to be processed. But
yeah, it's been since 2022. We're in 24.
no, he had the approval. He's renewed it twice. This is the third renewal. You have to renew your TUP every year, and they can be done administratively for 3 years. The fourth renewal has to go before the city commission. The issue was that we submitted for the extension, and
you haven't
took
heard
so
back.
long. Oh no, we have it. It's in process. I have all our paperwork here. So we paid for the certificate of for the CU for the TUP. We're waiting for the modification of the TUP.
Okay, to the chair,
60
I just have a question to the director. You just smile. You know why, right? Because if she already did the first time, that means that she complied.
Correct.
And now she's doing to whatever it is that she's doing.
She's amending.
And we are 2024. This is this 2022. So
It's up to you. Look, the zoning process, there's a number of things, and I'm not going to say anything out of line. Zoning has a number of challenges as it relates to events permits, temporary use permits, temporary garages, a number of things, and they're challenged with it. I can't, nor will I speak on their behalf. What's before you is yet another extension.
Understood.
I can't elaborate any further because really,
Chair.
it's up to you.
I make a motion. My motion will be for 180 days.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I just concerned that she's gonna be coming every 6 months or every year because she need to renew.
We're not.
And we are in the process. In the third year, she gotta go to the commission. She
No,
knows
no,
that.
we this is the third extension. We've
So you-
already received one TUP. It was extended for a second year. This is the third but that's how the process is.
Right.
You have to
Then
come
the
back
fourth,
every
you
year.
go to the commission.
Correct.
For the fourth, we'll have to go to the commission unless the property's sold, then we have to find a new location because we're tenants at this site in Wynwood.
So I
But
just
again, for this particular violation, the extension of time, we should be more than able to wrap it up within 60 days.
I just want to have it in there in the record that if if you get your extension, you should close this violation because you're not in violation if you have it.
But we're
So
also
I'm just giving you this piece of advice, which you should, as soon as you get it, just close the violation. That way you don't have to come here because you're technically legal under your DUB.
So we have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And that was for 60 or 180?
180 days.
We'll be done. Thank you.
Calling page 183. The address is 1743 Southwest 22nd Court, address 000600042, page 183.
Please state your name for the record.
My name is Bruce Harmon. Address is 1743 Southwest 22nd Street.
And is this an extension time? How much time are you looking for?
Well, I think 120 days would be sufficient.
This is not the same person who was here before for another violation? Today?
Today? No.
No. Oh, sorry.
City, do you have a position on the 100 inspector on the 120-day request?
They're requesting additional time because I cited them for no BTR, no CU, and they realized that they need to change the use. So they're been working for a few months now, but they're always in communication with me and everything. So I'm recommending an extra, whatever they're requesting right now, 90, 120 days, so they can finalize the permits.
Motion?
Motion for 180 days.
We have a motion for 180 days. We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You have 180 days.
It's a Tamiami. It's like, what?
Calling next case, page 180, address 2757 Southwest 15th Street, case number 000065260. Page 180, address is 2757 Southwest 15th Street. Nobody? Okay.
No.
Then it looks like we can go into the mitigation.
And what page was that?
This was page 180.
Green Mile Investment?
Is that you?
No show.
We're going to go into mitigation now.
Did you sign it?
Oh.
I just called it. 2757 Southwest 15th Street. He's here.
Oh.
Okay.
Too late.
All right. This extension of time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Jorge Guim,
Your address.
2757 Southwest 15th Street.
How much time are you looking for?
I submitted my plans. I'm supposed to meet with a couple of people from the city, so I think I'm gonna need about 180 days. Probably more, I'm not sure.
Is there an inspector or director
Yes.
make a comment?
So this is for illegal units. I mean, what's going on? Who is our inspector so that we
Ms.
can?
Pino, she was just
Vanessa.
here.
Yeah,
I submitted plans.
when it's illegal units, we have a real problem.
What's the status of, do you have any tenants at this
I
point?
bought the house like a year and a half ago.
Okay,
I got an architect and an engineer.
okay.
They submitted plans. I'm supposed to meet with E. Munoz and somebody else through Zoom next week.
Go. Speak into the record so that everybody can hear you.
Sorry. I submitted the plans. Apparently, I just need to do some adjustment. The place is a single family, but it's a duplex in the back, so the zoning's a little weird. But I think 120 days.
Director, this is from November, the violation?
Well,
is anybody living in the illegal units?
The thing is that it's
It's a yes or no
Yes.
question.
yes. The
Okay.
thing is that it's not illegal.
Director, you had your answer.
It was
You said yes.
posted in November of 2023. Sir, you were cited for illegal violations. You were found guilty. You're here seeking an extension of time. I'm not sure where you're
Okay.
confused.
The house that I bought it's a single family in the front and it's a duplex in the back. It's got a weird zoning.
The
So
board already heard all this.
So because of that, they say it's illegal. So I submitted plans in order to fix the problem, which is there's only a door in the front. Instead of one door, it has two doors in the front. And that's it. So I'm waiting
All
to
right.
get that approved. I don't
Board
know.
members,
Yeah, he has a-
the city submitted the plans that had been approved by the city back in the day. So I'm not sure what he's saying now. He is simply here for an extension of time to
We're-
comply with the order of this board that found him guilty.
We're not hearing anything regarding the facts of the violation. It's just as to the extension of time. Is there a motion?
Move for 120 days.
Thank you.
Any discussion?
Just a question for him is, for you guys to kind of understanding him too. When it's a T3, with the new codes, you have to have one single family house and 450 square feet in the back. So if you have a duplex, triplex, whatever it is, that's your problem. So I am okay with the 120 days, but you need to understand that you're not going to have a duplex and that property is not zoned for that. So I vote for yes for it.
We had a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye. That's fine. The zoning, my zoning, it's rare. It's the only zoning.
It was a 120-day extension.
Well, we got you.
Okay. Going into mitigations,
There was, the attorney was waiting next, right? You said that was the next mitigation.
mitigation. He's not the
Just
first.
by a show of hands, is there anybody here on a to be heard?
Yes, we do have one that's an absentia, doesn't have power of attorney.
All right,
Okay.
forget about them.
You want
No.
to hear that one?
No,
Okay.
we'll have other people waiting.
So
Let's
we'll
go
go to the mitigation. This one is in City View. This is page 16. The address is 1610 Northwest 53rd Street. Case number CE 2019-014-828. This is page 16 in the City View agenda. And the days is 1,049 days.
Everybody here left litigation, but the one person that's not here properly for the to be heard.
Everybody here is for mitigation at this point, correct?
Correct? Yep.
And one to be heard.
State your name for the
Oh,
record.
This is 33.
Good evening, board members. Alex Uribe with office at 2800 Ponce de Leon Boulevard. Here on behalf of the owner of the property, this is a T3 single-family home in Model City. It's a 2,000 square foot home built in 1947. Violation was originally issued in 2019, late 2019, for the owner having installed new windows and doors without a permit. The property was found guilty in a hearing in January 2020, and in the whole mess of COVID, kind of the owner was unable to come in and get his permits in a timely fashion, unfortunately. But the owner did submit permits in 2022, and unfortunately, what ended up taking so long was that when the plans were submitted through zoning, zoning noted that there were other things in the house that did not match microfilm that was on record for this property. And unfortunately, it was things that were not done by this owner, but rather that they never had been brought for a violation. And when they tried to legalize what this owner did, zoning would not let them move forward until they fixed the entire house. So the entire house ended up coming under the scope of this permit. And it took them until August 2023 to actually get the permit. And then the permit was finalized in March of 2024. The affidavit of compliance was issued about a month after the permit was finalized in April of 2024.
But isn't this owned by an investment LLC?
It is owned through a corporation, yes. This is not a homestead property.
So code does have a position, and I'm gonna share with you again that on each of the violations, you need to take into consideration the nature of the violation and how impactful it was to the community. And for non-homesteaded, hold on, Alex, I got the floor. For non-homesteaded properties, LLCs, we're gonna have a position that it will be somewhere in between. It's not commercial, it's not coming before full commission, but I'm gonna take some consideration and make a recommendation accordingly. So, as such, code's position, the full amount is 157,350. Code's recommendation is a reduction by 93%. That makes it 6.3%. That's from 157,000 to $10,000. That is code's recommendation.
Do I have a motion?
No, to be honest, I don't think that we're going to punish. They already did the whole house because one little thing. So I will move to just 2,500 for the owner because they went through the whole thing. And for those who are listening to me, I am listening to you. I know you do your work and you need us to make the owners pay something for the effort. So 2,500.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Discussion?
Yeah, I would like to know how this compares to the other mitigations that we've had in terms of percentage. I don't know.
So usually for homesteaded properties, I'm so sorry, the sun is hitting you. Yeah. There you So homesteaded properties, I understand completely, where they go through the process and
No, but for
technically.
non-homesteaded
Right,
properties.
so
what is the
non-homesteaded, you should treat it differently. Non-homesteaded LLC, I'm sorry, with all due
Yep.
respect to, there are rights,
investment,
there are pros and cons. I don't believe that we should treat it the same way. There will be cases that come before you that are commercial within 270 days. We have to adhere to the matrix, whether we like it or not. That's the law. And if they don't like it, they can come to full commission. So that's why I stated what I stated.
But the answer is there's no formula. We're allowed to do whatever we want in
Yeah,
this
if
kind
you-
of
I
case.
didn't ask for the formula. I asked what was the percentage, the average percentage
That's
for
what I'm saying.
LLCs.
But
that
no one knows. That's what I'm trying to say. There is no average.
We can go to zero if we want to.
Right.
If we decide as a board, we can go to zero in homes.
Well, Judge, with all due respect, no, you cannot do whatever you want. Because if you do whatever you want, we have the right as a city to go and appeal that. So
Correct.
it doesn't work
But
that
that's
way.
on any vote here.
that-
Anyone can appeal.
correct. The board does have the right to
But the
do
board
it.
has the right to do
All the way to
whatever
zero.
they want. You can appeal it, just like when we vote on something else, the other side can appeal it. I was just saying that this falls under the matrix that allows us to do.
Up to zero.
Right, but just
This
because I'm
falls under
looking.
the matrix, as it allows us to do anything from no mitigation to 100%.
Right.
That's just a fact.
Right.
Okay,
Let
if
me-
the fact is wrong, please tell me, but I don't
I think,
Okay, and
hold
I
on, hold
just
on.
wanna-
The board,
I just-
wait, the board attorney wants to speak.
So I'll make this real simple. You have the latitude to go to zero, but the respondent has to carry his burden
Right.
to convince you. There's
Right.
requirements under 162 that he's got to move you, convince you, make you feel warm and fuzzy inside.
I didn't say we should go to
I'm
zero.
not saying that.
I said we have the right
No, you
to
have
go to zero.
discretion, not right. You have discretion.
Right.
Whatever word you want
Let
to
me,
use.
let me just tell you, Mr. Chairman, if I may.
We do this every
Because
time.
there were representations to the board that there was just a permit citation, but the citation was for most renovations and repairs, concrete slab in the front, extension to the rear of the structure. So it wasn't that zoning
Let
said
me,
that.
No,
let
but-
me hear from the
But
response.
he's stated,
let
they
me-
has to renovate, they has to do the whole house.
Let us hear from the respondent for a minute.
Board members, yes, these items were discovered that were not done by this owner. They were on the property when this property was purchased, but there was never any record of a violation for them. It was only, and again, I'm taking what I'm told by my client was that the work that this owner did was the windows and the door, and that they replaced those without permits. But then after that, there was the comparison done with the microfilm that said, oh, for instance, the driveway slab had to ultimately be reduced because it didn't show up in microfilm. So they said, well, we're going to apply Miami 21 standards to you now. And so they had to go back to zoning and change it. And let me just put it on here. As you can see from this picture, this is not a luxury home. This is not something that is going to turn into some sort of crazy windfall for this owner. This is a house that is appraised at $240,000 thereabout. The amount of work that was done, if you look at the permit, was about $133,000 worth of work.
Yep.
Ultimately, that resulted from the expanded scope that this permit had to cover. And unfortunately, they had to also pay a penalty because this was all treated as after the fact work, because even though they didn't do it, they had to correct it after the fact. And so they paid a higher penalty in terms of a permit fee than they would have if they had come in here before. So, this is not a similar case where, you have somebody who's profiting hugely from operating without a certificate of use or BTR, or in a building that they, need to change the use that they just took over. This is not something that we need to punish further. I would.
What would your client be happy with?
That is your burden to do. I would say if
asked
the
you a
motion,
question.
the motion that was made on the floor and seconded, we'd be happy to take that, and we'd say thank you very much, and we'd be happy that we're providing the city with a house now that is fully up to code and fully paid for, done the right way.
Okay, we
Okay.
have a motion pending. It's been seconded. It was for $2,500.
Mr.
All in favor?
Mr. Chair, may I
Aye.
just put something on the record in case the director does instruct us to file an appeal?
Right.
Okay, the representation was his client did nothing. His client was the property owner when we cited the property. The violation was for work without a permit. They did electrical, they did plumbing, they did windows, they did exterior, they did the entire house again. It wasn't that after the fact they found it.
Madam City Attorney, that is not what I represented.
Okay.
Please excuse me, that was not
And
what I
the record
represented.
will either bear you out or bear me out. And what I'm saying to you is, our position is, his clients are a corporation. This is what they engage in. This is what they do. And they should pay.
I mean, we got it, but
Okay.
we have a new, we have a new property
Absolutely.
remodeled in the city of Miami. We live in the city of Miami. We'd rather have a nice, clean property in the city of Miami. The neighbors would rather have that. How we got there, was it the right way? I don't know, but that's, we have the vote. All in favor? Aye.
No.
And the amount was?
$2,500.
Thank you.
I just have a quick question. So if we decide for an amount on a property and the city doesn't like it, the city is going to appeal the board
The city
decision?
can. We're the.
Okay, I just want you to actually
Do we have
clarify that so I know exactly that the city, even though sit there next to us, you can appeal what we decide.
We prosecute.
It's
We have the same rights as the property owner.
Yeah.
Ms. Bettencourt and City Attorney, we have to do a roll call though. Sorry. It was just brought to
Do
my
a roll
attention.
call
And then we can,
I'll be happy to answer.
roll call.
And then I have a comment too when they're done.
Calling member Keon Williams. Calling member Christy Tasker.
No.
Calling member Martin Zilber.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Calling member Rick Madan.
Yes.
Thank you. Calling member Brenda Bettencourt.
Yes.
Calling chair John Kunil.
Yes.
Okay, it passes 5-1. Calling next mitigation.
Well, I think we had an.
I think there was a
comment that-
discussion. Judge wanted to
So,
say something
I
and
did,
then
and
Director wanted to say something.
Or either way, you go first. I can go
So for
after.
discussion purposes, you're an independent body, we make decisions, code enforcement board, voluntarily provide fantastic services. We are technically equivalent to the prosecution, and the respondents are there. Both have the same rights under the law to take a decision made by the board that either party disagrees with, to take it to the next level. It's called due process. So we and them have a right to, they disagree with you, we can go to 11th Judicial Circuit. We disagree with 11th Judicial Circuit, we go to 3rd District Court of Appeals, all the way to the Supreme Court. That is the law.
Calling next
Okay.
case.
No, I had a comment.
And I wanted to get, I wanted to also get it on record. The reason I voted no is because it is an LLC, and I believe I remember my very first meeting that there was a similar situation with a mother of 5 children, and that mother was fined $42,000 irreparable harm. So I don't see how where we're getting these numbers, we're plucking them out of thin air. So I refuse to vote yes on a situation like this, because in the city of Miami as a whole, we hurt ourselves whenever we allow LLCs to come in to purchase properties, and we allow them to get away with things that normal citizens in single-family homes will not get away with.
I disagree with that, because just because it's titled in LLC's name, it doesn't mean it's a business. There's estate planning reasons. There's, there's
Inheritance.
a plethora of reasons that we might,
Inheritance.
so, but everybody respects each other's.
Judge. Can I go now?
Yes, Judge.
Thanks. So agreed with everything that was said, and certainly the city has a right to appeal. I mean, I don't know if they're going to appeal for $7,500. I mean, let's everybody understand they recommended $10,000, we did $2,500. So whether it's makes sense to appeal for a $7,500 decision, but I wasn't disagreeing.
That wasn't the point.
I understand.
That's not the point.
I know it's not. And I wasn't disagreeing with the city either in its rec. I was just trying to state, because we've done this a bunch of times, so I'm going to state it again. we have the discretion, the right, whatever word you want to use. I was just trying to state that there's not a formula.
Correct.
So every case is different. Maybe this one should have been 2,500. Maybe it should have been 10,000. Maybe it should have been 20,000. The point is, when everybody asks and gets confused, is when you're in the matrix, you have no choice. When you're out of the matrix, our choice is anything. There's always should be a reason behind the answer, but again, and the city had said a couple of times, and I'm not really saying it's wrong. We got to make a decision that they want money on certain cases because there's expenses.
I'm just saying there should be
consider that.
consistency across the board,
But how can it be consistency? Every house is different. Every claim
Of course,
is different.
yeah,
Everything
but
that happens is
but
different.
the same type of situations are the same.
No, but
No,
the case law in the
And
state
if
of
you're consistent,
Florida
you're going to really have
is
a problem.
that every single code enforcement case is on its own
On its own.
unique facts. You can't, if we start doing across the board, if you're a single family house, we're gonna mitigate to zero. If you're then we will run into trouble in the courts.
And that was my
Good to
concern.
know.
When the comment was asked, what's our averages, is when I got involved, because if you start dealing with averages or saying everything is the same, or don't take into consideration the individuality of a case, you're going to get in trouble.
And technically,
that was where
we're
I
all
tried to get
saying,
involved.
we're all saying the same thing from different perspectives. I happen to have a professional opinion with the attorney that went there. I happen to do. But look, I take into consideration our due process, expenditures with the case. I'm going to tell you something else. In addition to an LLC, and I understand exactly what you said, Mr. Connell, but in addition to an LLC, it's represented by a very good counsel. The person is not here saying, oh, listen, I had some hardship. You should take that into consideration as well.
Yes.
For the record, my recommendation,
Penalize when they're successful.
a very good one, right? Because he's
Yeah,
good.
but that's like
He's
telling
good.
that's like telling a criminal defendant he has a good attorney.
And he got the job done. For the record, my recommendation was a 93% reduction.
Yeah, it
So
wasn't
it's a
bad
very
recommendation. It was a very
reasonable.
fair recommendation.
So it's generous.
My
Generous.
job,
Just wasn't what
my
the
job
board
is to
members
be
decided.
equitable, consistent, and reasonable. And I think I bring that to the table.
Listen.
Can we move this
we
on though?
We can move on.
Because-
Mr. Chair, we can move on. I just say, when we receive cases that is being represented by attorneys, the two persons that are sitting here, and I love you both, but the two of you have more considered time because it's an attorney who's representing them. But when it's mitigation, it's an issue. So that's the reason when it's an attorney, I give them less time.
Okay, well,
Say that I do all mine based on the facts and not the people who are appearing, and I take umbrage and I'm offended that you would make that statement, and I want you to give me example.
Example is many people that come here with an attorneys is not get the 30 days as we give to an owner who comes by himself. And I have repeatedly in this dais explained to you guys that you cannot just give to an attorney 90 and a single family
I'm
member.
gonna take a little control here. We have people waiting, and we can definitely take this conversation up a little bit later. But can we move on with the mitigation?
Yes. Okay, calling page, well, these are add-on cases. It's not in your book. It's on the back of the agenda packets I gave you. It's like 239 and page 243 on the back of this here. It's add-on 1, add-on 2. The address is 3441 Grand Avenue and 3471 Grand Avenue. Case numbers are 000-23028, coincides with address 3441 Grand Avenue, and then 000-2327 coincides with 3471 Grand Avenue. Both are at 79 days old.
Please state your name for the record.
90 days, you say?
79 days old.
79.
Good afternoon, board. Brian Dombrowski, 333 Southeast 2nd Avenue. Are we taking these together?
I think we're gonna take one at a time, right? Let's separate them.
Separate.
Okay, it's going to be roughly the same for both their adjacent properties.
35.
These were properties that were cited. For whatever reason, the property owner did not show up at the hearing. They were in the process of getting a demo permit. The hearing was on February 8th, 2023. They were heard in absentia with a $500 fine. The permit was pulled just a few weeks later. Both sites were demolished shortly thereafter and brought into compliance. They went through the expense of bringing this into compliance through demo. It's a vacant lot now that they're hoping to redevelop in the West Grove. So I'd ask for the 65% mitigation. They're at 39,500. My calculation is 13,825 for each case.
Director?
Could you repeat that
Do you have
last
some,
part? Sorry.
they were asking for, oh, sorry, he was
you
asking
repeat
for 65%. He said the number was $13,825.
Is that the
Yeah.
maximum in this formula? Is that what you're asking for?
Yeah, that's the
Fortunately,
formula.
that is the maximum, yes.
13,825 is the formula.
Director?
So unfortunately, and council can tell you, in this option, you must abide by the matrix.
No, but we can do more. Again, that's always a confusing comment.
Yes,
That's why I hate that coming up.
Really,
You can't do.
the answer is
can't
yes.
go any lower in dollars. But
Right.
you could do.
You
I'm
could
not
do more.
suggesting we should do.
Or you
more.
could, you
But
could
I just
even,
don't want the wrong
or
information.
you could even deny.
The board was being, courteous, see if you wanted more money.
No.
That's
No,
all.
we don't.
No.
Do we have a vote? Sorry, do we have a motion?
A motion for 13,825, which is a 35%.
Second. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry,
Aye.
discussion. Go ahead,
So-
Mr. Williams.
So this is the only point that I would make, and Judge, you remember this, because I think Ms. Tasker referenced it. A couple meetings ago, we had a single-family mother that was here, and we had a similar situation where we had a decision to mitigate it to the amount that was listed, or we could have went higher. And we had a back and forth because you were trying to make a point that we can go higher.
Right. I
than
wasn't
what was
suggesting we
Hold
go
on.
higher.
But you did go higher.
Hold on,
But
hold
you did go higher.
Hold on. And
did go
no, not for that case. It was another one. But in this particular case here, the situation that we were dealing with was that we were trying to understand an individual's situation. And to go higher would have been overkill. And so in this case here, while we do have the leniency to go higher, the question is, this is a business. Do we take that in consideration? So to your point, I just wanted to point out, yes, we always have that leniency, but I think as a board, we're looking into the public. We should always have that consideration on what the circumstances are. So
I don't disagree. Again, I just didn't want the confusion because it happened in the case you're
correct,
talking about.
correct.
Like, you must do this.
Yeah.
No, we don't have to do this. We just can't do any more than.
Correct. We're on the same page with that, but I just wanted to reference that.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
13.
13,825.
As long as the math.
No, just one. We
Yes,
did.
feel free to
we
check
did
my
page
Right, you check the math.
Is the math right?
We did the
13,000.
maximum mitigation. I mean, you have to do the math. We did the maximum mitigation.
Okay, 13,000. Elizabeth,
65%.
13,825.
Is that right? Is it
825. Is it
I
35%
checked it.
from 39,500? Oh, boy.
Yes.
You can email it to me.
Yes, yes,
That's fine.
yes.
Just pay the full amount, Brian.
I don't want my client to have to do that. Was that both cases?
One more.
It's a site directly next door to the same fact pattern. I would ask for the same.
Reincorporate the same facts from the last?
Yes.
I'll make the same motion. Because it's a joining property, it's next to it, and I move for the same.
We had to know how many days.
Same
He
amount.
said it was the
Same
exact
day?
same. Same facts.
Same everything, same fact pattern,
Same-
same
same
everything.
exact.
They were demolished on the same day. They were cited the same day. They came into compliance the same day.
13,825. Is it
Do we have a
35?
motion?
A motion
made
for
the motion.
13,825.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Liz, you'll email that to me?
We don't have a choice. The matrix is the matrix.
Okay. Thank you all. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Calling next case. This is page 224, address 4760 Northwest 17th Avenue, case number 000-36988, page 224. This is 145 days mitigation. Page 224.
Please state your name for the record.
Good afternoon, everyone. Santiago Aguilan,
And your address?
4760 Northwest 17th Ave.
Oh, it's certified. How many days, you say?
145 days.
I know, 50%, I know. Let's go to 2A17.
50%. We can go higher, but
Ooh,
I don't want to do that.
145 is 50%.
Correct.
Oh, wow. It is what it is.
I make a motion. Make a motion for 50% mitigation, which is $36,250.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
How much time do I have?
20 days. 20 days, right? 20 days.
Sorry?
If not, it goes back to the full amount, which is the 72.5.
So for the record, yeah, the code has a clause that must be paid within 21 days or reverts. It's a reverter clause.
Okay, and
Ms. Fincher, what is the page number that
who
you
can give me
want?
the paperwork?
224.
224, I have it as 131,750.
Oh, then we're looking at the
And
wrong
we
case.
have 72,500.
Correct. We got 72.5.
Oh, this is not even on the right file.
She's looking at the wrong case.
No, she's in the wrong case, I guess. Somebody put the wrong paperwork.
36988.
36988, correct.
Is that correct?
All right, 72,000. So it was 36 what?
36.25, 250.
Yeah, I have 72.5.
And that is 224.
Sir, is that going to be an issue to pay that in 21 days?
This is my previous tenant who is responsible for this. I mean, I have to see
They
how
have
this
no
can be
choice.
handled.
Right,
But
they
yeah.
have no choice.
No,
The
no, I
question
understand.
is,
I mean, I would love
okay,
to
you
pay
have-
2,500 like the last LLC.
Our hands are
No, no,
bound.
it's fine.
Yeah.
okay, so, sir, look.
Yes.
Okay. If you don't think you're going to be able to do it in 21 days,
Table it.
you should table it until you can come back and pay, because it's always going to be the same amount.
Okay.
So if you don't have the money to pay it within
20
21
days.
days, I'm recommending that you table it and come back and ask for a hearing when you've saved up the money. There's nothing we can do.
For that to happen, they have to withdraw.
I'm going to withdraw my vote.
So
second.
Hold on before you do that. Let them answer because
It's up to you. Do you want to go forward or not?
Quick, I'm sorry. This is the first time I'm doing this situation. If I table it and
You can
somehow
come
I
back.
happen to get access to the money, do I have to come to another hearing, or do
Yes.
I can?
No, you have to come to another hearing and they have the same chart that they have to apply no matter what.
Oh.
now, according to a judge, it could go up. I don't think so because I would recommend against
we
it.
would not.
You haven't done anything
I
to
would
that
like to
effect.
close the case today.
I understand.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. The motion stands?
Stands.
Hands.
Yeah, no, you do have to your due diligence. You have 20 days to do it.
Hold on real quick, Director.
Yes.
And theoretically, he could go talk to his commissioner, correct?
So, no.
No?
After a year.
It is, it is,
Done by a lawsuit.
it is
Understood.
correct. He needs to, he had an option to do a quiet title lawsuit and come before full commission.
No,
which is
he
going
does
to.
not. If we try and and advise him that he can go to the full commission, the city attorney will take the position. Once you're at the board and you're supposed to be at the board, you can only appeal the board's decision.
Correct.
And if the city enters into a settlement with him for whatever reasons and brings it back, but he doesn't have the option of, I'm going to go to the commission.
Which is 100% accurate. I completely concur. There was a case that the board mistakenly said no, and it went to commission, and it was one of these that it was a vacant lot that was before a duplex, and it was during a transition from going single family only, remember, homesteaded, then we added vacant lots and duplexes. During that transition, the board said at the time, you're not eligible. And that was taken into consideration by commission. But unfortunately for the respondent, he can shop it.
But he said he's comfortable with it.
I understand,
He
I
said he
understand.
wants
No,
to-
but we were saying, in case you didn't, right? That was
No,
the
there
question.
was just comfortably something else. No, I'm just have to deal with it. It wasn't me, it was my previous tenant.
Yeah.
So I just have to deal with it. It's not that I'm comfortable. I just have to deal with it.
Next case.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
We're in City View. This is page 10. The address is 943 Northwest 64th Street. Case number 2017-009-034. This is City View, page 10. The amount of days is 2,230 days. 2,230 days. This is page 10, City View agenda.
And the amount that I have is 557,000.
What? Oh, my goodness.
That's what I have. The fine is, unless it's also been misfiled.
Oh, no, 557,500.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, that's the one we have.
That's correct. Does this fall in any exceptions or no?
Is a T3 residential?
So then, do whatever, again.
Do whatever.
Good evening.
Good evening, Jose Arango for
Do
the
whatever.
record with offices at 2800 Ponce de Leon. Somebody asked about, does it fall within the exception? I'm assuming you're talking about the single family vacant lot exception? Yes. This is a vacant lot, zone single family residential. At one point, there was a structure there.
What was the structure?
It was I think it was like a multifamily or something
Yeah.
like that.
The only exception is if the immediate path was a single family house.
Or a
So you
duplex.
don't-
Or a
It-
duplex.
But
well,
it is a
I'm
T3.
guessing it was like a multifamily. I know that it was zoned residential. No?
Don't guess, don't guess, no.
It
no,
is
no.
a T3, so
It is
it's
T3.
residential.
So T3.
If it's multifamily, it would
single
not be a
family,
T3.
T3, the GIS layer says T3.
It's T3.
T3,
Please,
residential,
I'm gonna check.
Residential, yes.
single
Yes.
family home,
Single family.
nothing else.
T3.
All
Vacant.
right, we're gonna check on it.
Oh, yeah, it's single family. home.
So
There it is.
there was some structure there when it's been demolished. So it sits right now as a vacant lot and it's zoned single residential.
Yeah, I'm going off what's on the paper. Paper says T3.
What are you looking for, Director?
I'm
We're
not.
looking to see for the immediate.
No, I'm
I'm going-
asking about the
You
amount.
can proceed with
I'm going to the.
trying to meet your burden.
So their current owner came to own the property in 2013. There were some code violations which were corrected. The structure was there at the time. It deteriorated. There was, I believe there were some financial hardships, but eventually the structure became unsafe and it was torn down.
T3L.
And that's where we're at today. There are other cases that are not before you today, deal with the status of the property. When I say status of the property, I'm talking about the maintenance of grass, so the security of the lot. But those have been addressed and they will come at a later date. This one before you has been pending for quite some time, as somebody noted, one of the board members noted, I have 2,230 days old. And there's a lien on it. So unfortunately, the property owner would like to do something with the property, and he's interested in obtaining loans or financing in order to develop the property, but that is not going to happen. He's in over his head, frankly. The fines are at 5,500. I'm sorry, 500,000, 57, 500,000. Yes, and then the property is valued at 170,000. This is not going to go anywhere.
The owner is Anthony, lives on Pine Tree Drive.
Morello, yes. Qualified for mitigation. He's applied. He's had bringing the other cases. I could say that the code violations were existing on the property have been corrected. We're here before you today.
What's the recommendation from you?
The problem is that initially the attorney, perhaps in error, said it was, I believe it was multifamily before. We're trying to confirm one way or the other.
So go on the record and reflect that all the surrounding properties are single family. Google Earth is not allowing me to go back and look at the previous structure, and it's a T3. So
assuming
Code-
we're allowed, what's your recommendation?
What's your recommendation, Director?
So 557,000.
550,000?
That's the amount accrued.
1% reduction.
Jose is gonna have a heart attack.
That's what it's on the hook for right now. It falls with the exception. I didn't catch the part of whether or not it falls in or outside of the exception.
You may
You're
proceed.
within.
You may
Mayor said
proceed.
it falls in, and
So,
it is
look.
an exception.
Okay, so if this was a discussion that was had earlier before the board,
Mhm.
I guess I'll have to chime in on that one. It does provide for broad discretion since it takes it outside of the guidelines provided by the code. So it's not new. It's not a new concept. Years before, the code operated, the code enforcement board operated with full discretion on how to mitigate fines.
Yes.
That's no longer the case for some cases, but this is kind of bringing that back into that forum. So now it's before the board. We're pleading to the board's mercy. There are costs involved with this property. I'm not sure what could become of it. It's a vacant lot right now. It's got
What do you think is
enormous lien.
what do you think is a reasonable number for your client?
He's like, I don't want to say it.
That's the
That's
toughest
what you're
question
here
I've had
for.
so far. Yeah.
Director?
What's the number?
To deliberate on this?
Come on.
So, while he deliberates, I'm gonna give you coach recommendations.
If I could provide a proposal.
98% reduction puts it at 10,000. 99.5% reduction puts it at 5,000. And
I was going to answer.
I'm gonna, well, he clearly wants zero. I cannot
No.
in good faith say that.
No.
He was going to give a
I'm not
higher
making that
number than any of the numbers you gave until you
I
said
am not
it.
making that representation that it's zero. I get the violation.
So is
I
10,000 fair?
10,000?
I was going to recommend a percentage. I don't know if it fell into 9,000 or
Mr. Chair,
Okay, go.
I have a
10,000.
motion.
Board Member Williams, go ahead.
Motion for $5,000. That's in line with the.
We would propose.
Is there a
we would agree
second?
with that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second the 5,000.
All in favor?
Aye.
No.
No.
Roll call.
Calling member Keon Williams,
Yes.
calling member Brenda Betancourt,
Yes.
calling Rick Madan.
No.
Okay. Calling member Christy Tasker.
No.
Calling Chair John Kuhnel.
Yes.
Thank you. And calling member Martin Zilber.
Three.
Okay.
Right.
We need a new motion. This fails. 3 and 3.
Got to start again.
Can I make a proposal?
What is
What's
your
your
motion?
proposal?
Judge? Come on.
Homeowner's right there.
He's flashing numbers.
Okay.
What's
I
the
thought that's my client. I have to be
Okay,
authorized.
just.
A settlement of 10,000.
Mr. Chair.
I'd make a motion for 10,000. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
10,000?
10,000.
That's also in line with the director. That's just.
It's a 98.5% reduction. I think is reasonable, and that was our position. So, okay.
Okay, calling next case.
Thank
This
you,
is
board
page
members.
9. The address is 3127 Southwest 25th Terrace. Case number CE 2021-020464. Page 9, City View Agenda. Address 3127 Southwest 25th Terrace. Page 9, City View Agenda. This one is at 805 days old.
It's a T3. Go back to the 3.
State your name for the record.
Manar Amira, 4255. We're here for 3127 Southwest 25 Terrace. And I'm with the owner. Do you hear me right?
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
3127 Southwest 25th Terrace. And I'm here with the owner. I'm presenting him as well.
Okay.
We're the construction company and the violation company. We dealt with the violation case when he first got the first letter.
Hold on. Board attorney, they have standing?
Does she have standing?
Oh, she's the
No,
owner? I thought she said she was the construction company.
He's the owner.
Oh, you're the owner.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What is the address?
Is this 3127 Southwest 25th Terrace?
Yes, yes. 3127 Southwest 25th Terrace.
Hold on a second. I want to ask. He's the owner. She said she's representing him. She can't represent him until he introduces himself.
Well, we had power attorney, but this.
Oh, you have power attorney. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
but they
Thank
said
you
I
for
don't need it
clarifying.
because he's here.
Okay. We just wanted to make sure that
That's
what you're saying
incorrect.
matters.
The owner is here. I
Right.
advised him, if he wants her to speak on his behalf, he needs to come up and he can say that he would like for her to
Right,
speak.
but he hasn't said anything yet.
Right,
Right.
that's what he should do.
That's why I didn't know if she
Yeah,
had a
that's what
power
he said
of
I was
attorney.
asking.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, she can speak my name, yes.
What is your name
Emilio Busoli.
and your address?
Sorry.
Okay.
You don't know your address?
You got different.
723 Grandin Boulevard, apartment 206, Key Biscayne, Florida.
And may she speak on your behalf?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Holdings.
So this is a violation of maintaining for a property that needs to cut the grass. They received a violation back in October 7th. For some reason, they didn't get the letter. There was a hearing. They received a second letter and they hired us right away. There was a maintenance company, and I have receipts of a company that was supposed to cut the grass every week. They charge him $70. I got in touch with the inspector. He took photos. They said everything is fine, to find out later on, because we were in the process of pulling a building permits. It got approved. When I came to pay, they said there's a lien. When I investigated a little bit more, I had to drive to the city because the city themselves, they couldn't give me an answer. They found out because they had an old system, that violation was never closed by, they opened the same case kind of twice. So although I got the compliance letter on the first one, the other one kept going. So that's why we're here to, I have the affidavit here. The city is aware of it. That's why they gave us a chance to come in front of you guys to address it.
Now, everybody has the opportunity to come and request mitigation,
Yes.
but you're making allegations about the department, and I told the director to pay attention to what you were saying.
Because there's a case, I will talk about that later. But so, look, and the young lady did come up to me to discuss the case. Can you put City View up in the front? This is a mitigation case, and go back to the front. So the first, I want to show the number of cases at this property.
Mr. Director, can we
So
also?
hold on a second, ma'am. Hold on. So owner of record is BR Cypress RE Holdings LLC. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so I'm counting at least 10 cases, complaints by area neighbors regarding multiple issues at this property. And that's important. Why? Because the totality, they need to determine. This is not one isolated case for overgrowth. There was ongoing complaints by area neighbors for failure to maintain. That needs to be taken into consideration. Okay?
Through the chair.
So go back to the case in question.
Yes, go ahead. Well, first, let me
put the pictures. Go
Let me
ahead.
just clarify, my hearing is so. What was your name and your role?
Manar Amira.
And your role?
I own a violation and permitting company and a
What's
construction company.
What's the name of that company?
Petra Building Contractors and Violations and Permitting.
Okay, I'm sorry, I just.
Okay. No, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
That's my fault.
So I handle cases like that, and at the same time, we're pulling a permit.
I got it.
To
Through the chair, Director, could you, Director, sorry?
I'm sorry.
You made a point to say this was more than just an overgrown. So I
All
was
of
wondering if
those.
you can click on the individual.
Good.
So we can see if it's more than just the overgrown, just to your point.
Could I add something else? Could I add something? Yeah, no?
So we could see what it is. And so while Gina Marquez, supervisor for Southeast office, is doing that, I am going to tell you, with the
have an
multiple
open case.
complaints, trash and overgrowth, illegal dumping,
And you have 2 open cases.
trash and overgrowth, trash
This
and
goes
overgrowth.
You see, those are 2015,
2012.
This is the previous owner. They
I
bought this.
I understand. I understand. But
270.
it is my role you are here for mitigation. Under Florida statutes, they need to look at the totality of things on a case-by-case basis. So,
No, but I just want to put in record that they bought the property in 2021.
okay, caveat emptor, buyer beware.
Yeah.
You bought it,
Yeah.
all right, along with
Yes.
the history. So,
Absolutely.
you bought it and there was a lien in place. Was there not? Okay, so I understand and they have the best of intentions and I hope they will continue to maintain it and have no history. But now you're here to mitigate and we'll determine whether 201,000 will become 20,000 or 10,000 or 5,000 or $1. We need to make a recommendation. So
Yes.
that's where we're at now. And they're asking questions.
Yeah, absolutely. But for me,
For you?
No,
With
I have to say something, if you don't
Uh-huh.
mind. I was dealing with Inspector Jason.
McNaught?
Yes.
Okay.
And I was under the impression that everything is good, everything closed. We were not aware that there was an old case open and is still active because I was dealing with Mr. Jason and there was another case, another inspector, Mr. Migueldo, I think.
Who?
Gustavo? Gustavo.
Meregildo.
Right here.
Mr. Gustavo. And I left him a couple of messages. We sent an email. Then I got in hold of him. Finally, he said, nobody contacted me regarding this case. So there was misunderstanding trying to get the information. So
Understood. I would like to request that this be deferred so that we can have Jason McNaught here so that he can defend himself from the allegations that are being made, vis-a-vis his conduct.
I'm not doing anything.
Okay.
I'm not making any allegation. I'm saying because I was told, I drove to the city to understand, and the city themselves, code enforcement, they told us there's two systems, and this was not transferred to the new system. That's why the city themselves, they
Can you,
couldn't
one
tell me.
second. Can you give us a recommendation? We don't need to make them come back. Can you give us a recommendation from the city?
Yes, sir.
Director?
I will do that right now. I'm trying to find a reasonable balance.
And while he's doing that, do you have any records from what you're referencing, like other than his words? Do you have any emails or any
Yes,
closed permit, like any closed?
Yeah, I printed, I have a lot, but I printed some emails from, contacting the city.
Can you present the email to us just to show us
Yes.
where he's saying that the code violation was cured? From him.
Issue. It can't be cured. I mean,
Well, it could be if she's saying that they have two
Remember,
separate things that she's
they
got
have
emails.
they have like 20 violations, so she might have a contact with one of them,
Right.
but the other 19,
Three
he can
emails.
represent everybody else in the same
Well, my
same
point is,
block.
if I'm just allowed to see,
But they
okay?
bought it with liens. So that, yeah, I mean, look,
Board-
but they bought
Yeah,
it with
but
liens.
board member, just so that you understand, the city has two.
I understand.
One is city view, one is code check.
I understand completely, okay? And the reason I was asking her, if you guys will listen to me, for the emails is because she doesn't have the emails that are dated. Okay, these are dated 2023. I was
Right.
just asking her to present to us what she's saying she has, and she
Right.
doesn't have it. Okay, if you have the emails from saying that the code violations have been cured, we'll be glad to take a look at it.
Let me see that.
I'll provide even further for you. Gustavo Meregildo is the code compliance inspector that originally issued the violation. So McNaught was transferred because of, this is what we do. Mr. Meregildo, talk about the original violation per se.
Well, Gustavo Merejido, co-compliance Southeast. So basically, back in 2021, I recall, I got a complaint from the neighbors. Constant complaints about the property not being maintained. So what I did was I cited the property, never heard of any, I never heard from any of the owners reaching out back to me regarding the issue. So what did I do? I sent them, I scheduled them to here to a code enforcement board hearing. No one showed up. So that's why then, the liens started occurring. So then until just recent, a couple of months ago, I finally, get a response from someone who's, responsible for the location. And she told me, hey, look, I was cited for failure to maintain the property. So, I corrected it. I was with the inspector, Jason McNaught. him and we communicated, I complied with the violation. So then she tells me, but I have an open case with you and I don't know of this. We don't know of it. I don't know of this. So then I explained to her that this is an old, it's from an old system that we had, which is a city view. And that's where this lien is from that, So basically, then she told me, look, Inspector, I complied. Can you go by and close the case? So what I did, I went by. Yes, I did comply. But for sure, they didn't comply immediately when I first cited them because the same complainant kept calling me over and over and over. And I'm like, listen, I can't do nothing about it because I did my part, but the owners had to do their part. But she was just constant calling me. And I didn't know what else to do. I'm like, listen, I can't go in there and cut the grass myself. I wish I could help you out, but I can't. Oh, but we're getting rats and all sorts of stuff. And I said, listen, I can't do nothing about it. She was really irate. She was upset at me, but I'm like, listen, I did my part. So that's where we're at now. Basically, she's trying to mitigate the fines. When they reached out to me, I immediately went out there. I complied the case, just like we're supposed to do. But unfortunately, she had a long-running lien, as you can see.
Thank you,
And that's
Inspector.
where we're at.
So code has a recommendation for you.
Well, and per the email that she presented, it says, "Good day. Thank you for your mitigation hearing request. Request number 2483 was received on Thursday, March 14th, 2024. Hearing Boyds has confirmed that the start of the fines running and issuance dates of the affidavit of compliance by the inspector, which stops the fines, were 805 days old." So they let you know the correct information. I just wanted to see if you had.
Like I said, I drove to the city because I got confused because I was working with one inspector. I didn't know there was another thing going on. And because from the time that
What would
they
you like?
purchased.
What are you expecting? What would you like?
Honestly, because
Honestly, please.
Yeah,
We like
what would you like?
Honesty.
yes, because they complied, but they had no knowledge of the other ones.
No, they had knowledge. They had that, when they bought it, they had knowledge.
90%. I think they complied, they cleaned, they maintain a company.
So what would you like? What do you think is fair?
$5,000, I think it's fair.
Okay, what's the city recommending?
So my recommendation was going to be a little higher than that. It's $201,000 and you rent for those many days. And I'm sorry, with all due respect, you have to take your adverse impact to the community.
Yeah.
A 95% reduction makes it at 10,000, and that's coach recommendation.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion for $10,000.
Do we have a second? No second. Motion dies. Do we have another motion? Oh, sorry.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call. Oh, it passed, right?
We all aye, yeah.
Everybody aye. $10,000.
Thank you.
Calling next case. This is also City View. It is page 4. The address is 1425 Northwest 2nd Avenue. Case number CE 2015-018-573. This is page 4, City View Agenda. Address 1425 Northwest 2nd Avenue. This mitigation is at 474 days.
What?
Page
400
number?
and what?
Page?
474 days. This is page 4 in the
Page
City
4.
View Agenda.
Thank you, Melanie.
Okay, where are we, is 474? It's a T4, it's a multifamily. It's not residential.
474 days, page 4, City View.
T4R?
It's a T4, it's not a T3. What are we gonna hear?
Good evening. Director, there must be a reason why we're hearing this. If it's a T.
So there are times that applicants will put that they're eligible when in fact they're not.
Okay, well,
I'm gonna run the GIS layer. Give me a second.
On what page is this, Melanie?
Page 4.
Page 4, your City View Agenda.
And it's 1425 Northwest 2nd Avenue, correct?
Yes, sir.
Page 4?
Yes, sir. Would you state your name for the record?
My name's Earl Nottage.
And
my sister Renee Nottage.
Okay, and where do y'all live at? Where do you live
I'm at 10825 Southwest 152nd Terrace.
All right, is it her house? Does she live there?
No, she's my sister. She's
Okay.
in her own house.
So Mr. Nottage,
Vacant lot.
I'm Robert, I'm the director for code. I'm not sure how you applied for this, but based on the number of days and the fact that it's T4, I will say that the board cannot hear your mitigation case. The case, and I'll be happy to explain to you, I'm gonna give you my card. What is your option? You will need to come to full commission based on the address. You fall under the purview of the Chairwoman King. I'll be happy to, I'm seeing her tomorrow. I'll be happy to discuss it, but you need to take a number of steps in order to come to commission. They cannot hear this case.
The director,
I am looking at T4R.
Director, just so, because I'm familiar with where this location is at, it used to be, from what I understand, it used to be a house that used to be there,
Okay.
because I grew up in the neighborhood.
Let me,
So,
Right.
I get it. And for the record, if
No,
you
I
are
know.
correct, I'm looking at the GIS layer.
No,
So let me
no.
go back to,
I went to Booker T, Washington. I know exactly where it used to be
Okay,
there.
I know- I
It was
grew
a
up in
house.
Yes.
Why are we
it
not
was.
allowed to hear it? Can you explain to me?
So can I, can?
Go ahead, board attorney.
So can I, that, just so we know we're looking, I don't know who's controlling the computer, but is that the property that he's here about?
The vacant
Yes.
lot.
the vacant one.
The vacant lot.
That looks like a
Vacant lot.
vacant lot to me. And I
Correct.
saw, when you scrolled up, it said vacant residential.
and
No,
the-
of course, after a
and
while.
for the record,
It was.
so I understand, and it reads, you can go ahead and read it first.
So that's why
A
we're doing
vacant
it.
lot whose immediate previous use was a single family
It was.
or a duplex. And if so, then you may
We
proceed.
can hear it.
Yes,
So we can hear it.
Yes.
Yes.
But just.
Thank you.
Never mind. Okay, we can hear it. I was gonna ask why we couldn't, but.
No, because it's labeled as a T4 in our
And why
books.
can't we hear that?
No. When it's T4, we cannot. But the previous use before Miami 21 and the new changes was a single family home.
So Judge, what I've advised the board in the past, and before you were appointed to the board, was you can't necessarily look at that T4, T3, whatever it is, and take it to the bank. You have to
Correct.
double check what's there.
Correct.
It was a single family
It
home
was a
before
single
that.
family home. I remember.
Long ago.
Look,
time ago.
we are not going to object, right?
So-
So we can hear it.
Recommendation.
Is there a recommendation?
So let's put everything on the table, right? Based on the fact that Google Earth reflects that it's a vacant lot that is surrounded by single families, then I'm going to amend my statement from before, and I'm going to say, you may proceed.
Thank
Let's
you.
go.
Recommendations.
And what is the total amount of the accruals?
118,000.
118,000.
500.
Code will recommend 5,000.
5,000. Can you ask him? Can you
You can
pay
go lower.
$5,000 in the next
Wait.
20 days?
Would you, the city is recommending $5,000.
for a fine.
Do we have a choice?
No, of course you have,
You
well,
can
you
say
don't have a
lower.
choice, but you get to present
Okay.
your case.
All right. Well, I'd like to present the case then.
Go ahead.
Okay. This property has been in the family for 80 plus years. It's been passed down from generation to generation. It was passed down to our mother, who passed away, and then at the time she was living, there was a house there.
Correct.
And it caught a fire. We demolitioned
I
it,
remember.
and we've had the property in our family for a long, long time. We never knew that there was an ordinance that City of Miami created that the land had to be registered as a vacant lot. And all the time that we've had it, did not even know that we had a lien on the property because we did not register it as a vacant lot. When we found out we did, we complied.
Correct.
But we did not know there was a previous lien for non-compliance. The information was always sent to my brother's home in Alpharetta, Georgia. He got no notice of it because he's very diligent about being on top of it. So it wasn't until just a couple of months ago that we found out that there was a non-compliance and a lien on the property. So with $118,000 on a $150 fine, it was like,
Shock.
that's why we're here.
So,
I'm gonna make a motion for
So-
0.
second. Well, my motion would have been for 0 as well. So, thank you. Second.
Any discussion?
We never, I mean, I'm fine with 0, but we just never heard a city. I was trying to get a city recommendation. What
He
was it?
recommended $5,000, Judge.
Oh, I didn't hear it. Sorry.
All in favor of the motion for 0?
Aye.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Please wait for your order. Calling page 5,
I
this
remember
is
that
City
house.
View Agenda.
I remember that house.
Case, the address is 1210 Southwest 13th Avenue. The case number is CE 2011-010196. This is page 5 in the City View Agenda, and the amount of days is 371 days. Page 5, City View Agenda at 371 days.
Please state your name for the record,
My name is Jorly Rotella,
your address.
1210 Southwest 13th Avenue, Miami, Florida, 33135. So this property has been my family's for 40 years. I didn't even know that we had, well, my parents passed. My dad passed 2 years ago, and my mom passed a few years before that. And that's when I started taking control of the property. I lived abroad for many years, and I've had other situations with unsafe structures and stuff, and the city has been very great in letting me work with it. So I asked last time for an extension because I wanted to try to sell the property. When they did the lien search, it came out that there was a lien for garbage. That's the one that I'm fighting, and I think it was for 2010. I will say that since I've taken over the property, I've worked with Inspector Pedro Melchor because they had called him and complained. My parents were elderly, they didn't know how to speak English. My father was a hoarder. I mean, as my parents passed, I had to take trucks and stuff out. I don't understand where we got here. So, I mean, I have pictures of what the property looks like now. I literally had to get rid of my real estate agent and my lawyer because they were pressuring me about the lien. Like, you need to get rid of it now. You need to sell it for whatever they give you. And they actually were against me coming to the city and try to fight, try to like give my, so I'm glad that I went because I'm by myself. I don't have anybody else. And I'm trying to keep the property nice so I could get rid of it and sell it, but to sell it for what is fair for my, for the 40 years my family has had for the house. So I've paid one of the taxes I was going to pay. I owe 2 more years of taxes, but then with this that just came up, I was like, I didn't even know that this was really there.
Do you have photos of the property?
Yes.
Can we see them?
There's also an exception where we can,
Director, do you have an amount?
Can I pass your phone around?
This is
So,
for outside storage.
So it's all clean now.
Outside storage.
so as a body, you're supposed to take into account mitigating circumstances.
I would
I
take
mean,
that around.
the
to every
facts
board
are the facts. You see it, it accrued to 92,000. Coach recommendation would be 99% reduction that you, of $1,000.
I'll move for $1,000.
I don't think she heard any of that.
What do you want?
The director was,
I just don't think
looks
she heard
good. Nice, good work.
What, I missed what you said, Director.
He's
I
saying
apologize.
99%.
A 99% reduction from 92,750 to $1,000.
$1,000.
After everybody sees, I'm going to make a motion for $0
Sure.
because.
Motion for 1,000.
I'll second that.
Wait, we
Okay,
had two
so-
motions.
I
I made a
did.
motion for 0.
Yeah, I made a motion.
You motion for 0? I'll second the 0.
I didn't. She did.
I did.
I was just
Look,
letting you guys know
I'll
that a motion.
second the 0. I'm sorry, Director. I know you sometimes you get upset with me.
Okay, we have a motion for 0. Do we have a second to that?
I'll second the 0.
Okay.
So let's move to 0.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I have to say no.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for cleaning
The
it up.
system isn't broken.
Thank you.
Yep.
I got all I heard a no. Calling member Christy Tasker.
Yes.
Calling member Brenda Bettencourt.
Yes.
Thank you. Calling member Keon Williams.
He's thinking the bathroom.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's
He
yes.
said yes, he said
Saying
yes.
from the bathroom.
Calling member Martin Zilber.
Yes.
Okay, calling member Rick Madan.
No.
Okay, I thought I heard a no. Okay, and calling chair John Kunil.
Yes.
Okay, it passes 5-1.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you. I hope that you do well now.
Thank you for
Wait
keeping
your
your
order.
property clean. Don't become a hoarder. We learned from our parents. Don't become a hoarder.
We're in the mitigations in the code check agenda. This is page 221. The address is 84 Northwest 48th Street. The case number is 0008760. Page 221, mitigation in the code check agenda. It is at 527 days.
Sorry, Melanie, what page?
Page 221 in the code check agenda. 221.
Please state your name for the record
Shai Taki,
and your address.
145 Northeast 49th Street, Miami, Florida.
And your relationship to the property?
I'm the owner, the managing member of the LLC.
LLC, are we in trouble? Does it fall into a,
It's T3, right? So we're okay?
Yeah, I think.
I mean, some people don't like LLCs, some people don't like
As
this.
I
don't
said,
like
LLC,
that.
we're in trouble.
Some people don't like charities, who knows?
A lot of things going on.
No, that's not true. For the record, 501c3s and elementary organizations, often we put it at 0. That's the city's recommendation.
For what, zero?
Motion
Go
for
ahead.
0.
You want to go ahead?
Oh, no, I was
Proceed.
making a clarification that I heard that 501c3, so we
So
do
they're
take it.
joking.
Yeah,
We're
that's not
joking,
it.
just for the record.
Go ahead.
Yes, page
proceed.
221. And it was cited for 3 different things, I think. Yeah. Vacant, blighted, unsecure, perform work without permit, and failure to maintain a site commercial. It's a commercial thing, but it's not. It's not commercial. It's a house.
It's single family.
Single family.
So why it says commercial here in the back? Are you
You
were
gotta-
storage and you, oh, because you have solid waste container permit, yeah. Without a permit.
Mhm.
I mean, how long has this been? Oh, wow, a long time. Long time.
Can you speak? We can't hear.
A developer, an LLC, that knows better than a single-family household, that is doing work without a permit, that has the audacity to put a trash dumpster in front and is still doing the work. My attitude is you shouldn't reduce it by more than 50%, but I do not, you know,
Go ahead and proceed. It's your burden to convince us
Uh-huh.
why we should reduce it.
Well, we did receive the violation for work performed without permit. My project manager was supposed to ask for extension of time, which apparently she didn't, and then the clock started ticking and all those fines started accumulating. Honestly, I don't see the difference between me and the first case you heard, and you dropped to 2,500. Same thing, LLC, work performed without permit. It was by far more time than us. We did everything we could to comply. The place is in compliance now. So I'm asking for the same verdict as the first case, 2,500.
Do you live here, sir?
Sorry?
Who lives
I
in the
don't
property?
agree with that.
Do you rent the
So-
property? Do you
You-
rent the property?
No.
Okay.
You live there.
You live on the property?
No, I don't live in the property,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
He's one of the partners of the corporation.
I was just asking who lives there. It doesn't matter who's the partner.
It's vacant.
So the only thing I would remind the board is that every case
It's different.
is different, and every respondent has to carry their own unique individual burden, not because somebody else got it, which is that slippery slope danger about saying LLCs are all bad and et cetera. Don't cast judgment.
Yeah.
This is a unique case.
How many of these projects have you done or your company?
What do you mean, these
How many projects have you renovated? Like how many homes have you renovated? Your LLC?
5?
Okay. So did you know that you were working without a permit?
Yes, of course we knew, and we had a project manager that was supposed to submit an extension because we could receive the violation. I'm not saying, I mean, back then we said we're guilty, and of course we were guilty, but my project manager was supposed to submit an extension of time, like, because, you know, if you submit an extension of time, you're granted with extension of time, you get the time to fix everything, and you don't get all these amounts. She just didn't, and for not submitting an extension of time,
Do you still work with that same project manager?
no, she was fired the next day. I found out that she didn't submit the extension of time.
Question through the chair. How much did you spend on renovating this property?
I don't remember the exact amount, but it was
Oh,
What
a
did
good
your
amount
building
of.
permit
I wonder
say?
what the director would say, because it should show on the permit, right?
He's, I think he's right out there,
Okay.
you know?
But the permit is closed and everything. And
Yeah, it's
all-
closed and compliance, everything is done.
So that's why
I was curious as how much the permit
Yeah, I
was,
want to know
too.
what
Yeah,
it said on the
That's what
permit.
I wanted to know as well. So we're gonna have to wait and see what.
We're waiting for the director. Robert, we're waiting for you.
Get it?
Can we take a quick recess? I'm sorry, I need to.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think everybody, do we want to,
5
do we have a
minutes.
motion?
Motion for 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna come back in 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Okay.
Listen, did you broke the desk?
No, I hit my.
In the right
126, the property owner was attacked by a dog. A lot of
Yes.
injury.
Yep, we have someone who, on one of those paved swales and paved fronts, they just sent the pictures and they were attacked by a dog, so we're gonna reset it.
Okay.
Are we good to go back on the record?
I think you were waiting for the director for his recommendation.
Recommendation, please.
So I'm gonna ask you kindly to give me a recap because I was hearing intermittently. I apologize, but I did have to.
We were
Step
wanting
out.
to know how much the building permits for this particular.
So code compliance supervisor Gina Marquez had advised that the permits and its complexities were the cost.
So the total cost was
So they were saying it was going to be $9,500?
So it is thereabout. As a matter of fact, we believe probably about 10,000. 10,000 is a very approximate figure.
Yeah, motion for
For
10,000.
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
No.
Okay.
No.
Calling member Keon Williams,
Yes.
calling member Rick Madan,
Yes.
calling member Brenda Betancourt,
Yes.
calling chair John Cornell,
Yes.
calling member Christie Tasker.
No, and I also want to make a statement that we did not have any discussion on that particular case.
Okay, wait 1 minute.
There was
And
no-
calling member Martin Zilbert.
Sure, yes.
Okay, so this would pass 5-1.
With no discussion.
I thought we discussed it before we went to the bathroom
No.
break.
No, we did, we
we
needed
just-
information. So I'm going to tell you why I voted no,
Go ahead.
and I want this on the record, because the last case that we heard, where it had a $133,000 building permit, this one has $9,500, which is.
So
I think we've been cautioned several times from basing one decision on the previous decision, that they have to be fact specific. So if we
And the
make a
amount of-
decision, it has to be based on the merits of each case. And in
Correct.
that sense, that we have to be blind to the previous decision.
Right.
And the same thing, when the next case comes in, we approach it in the same manner. So
And
I think
based on the amount of work that was done, there's no way that it was only $9,000. And, you know, the problem is going by those numbers does not reflect the reality of life, because they get charged permit fees based on the amount of money that they say that they're going to be spending.
Well, my thought process with even seeing a dumpster out, there've been many cases where, I mean, you'd reference a dumpster. So sometimes there's a dumpster required to empty an entire house out from a hoarder. I mean, I'm just saying, so we can't, you know, we didn't really discuss.
Yeah, the green dumpsters, normally you have to have a special permit with the city. Apparently,
commercial.
they didn't. You can have it.
Well, the
but you
dumpster
need to have a
company, in my
permit for
opinion,
it.
the dumpster company shouldn't have brought the dumpsters out if they didn't have a permit, but that's.
Right.
is that it?
Oh, no.
Sorry.
Are we home?
We have one more, they said.
Yes, calling
Or-
the next case. This is page 228 in the code check agenda. The address is 1916 Northwest 17th Street. The case number is 00006587. Page 228 in the code check agenda. This case is at 424 days.
It's a
Page
T3.
228 in the code check agenda.
It's T3. And I actually,
May you state your name for the record?
Andres Pumariega.
And your address, Andres?
I live in 1918 Northwest 17th Street. It's a duplex.
that's your house, your homestead?
Yeah,
And what is 636?
636.
We're not at 217?
228 is
Oh,
1970
228. My apologies.
1916 Northwest 17th Street.
Okay, sorry.
Andres, you have explained the reasons that you believe that you're entitled to mitigation.
Yeah, it's my homestead. I had started remodeling. I was just replacing stuff. I wasn't moving walls or anything. Didn't realize I needed a permit for that. So I came in, I asked for the time. I got 6 months, I think, and I started the plans from there. I asked if I needed plans or didn't, like drawings, since I wasn't moving anything, couldn't get an answer. Had a friend help me. The plan process took forever because I had to submit it and then get a review for one thing, do it, review. After the third or fourth review, I just started coming into the city and just asking them. That process took quite a while to get to the end of the plans approval, then hiring a plumber and all the people to do the work that was done in Miami also takes forever. I didn't realize that. I thought the time was to get the plans going, not till all the inspections were done. So hiring all those people, then I had 32 inspections or something, like 20 of them that were deemed unnecessary because I got flagged for all these things, I guess. So obviously the process took forever and I was accruing fines unknowingly. I thought the 6 months was to get the process and the plans and that stuff going, not everything finalized, constructed, et cetera.
Mr. Pumariega, so I just asked Inspector Aquino how cooperative you were, and she said that you were most cooperative. Do you reside at that property?
Yeah, it's a duplex. I reside in the front.
Okay, right. And so according to the accrual is 63,600, that's what you've accrued?
I'm not sure. I didn't even find out about it until I came to do a
63,000.
HELOC. And then I just looked at the email. One email says 140, and then obviously that's a lot more than 140 times 150. So I don't know what the exact number of days were.
So on the 1916 Northwest 17th Street?
Yeah, that's me.
So coach recommendation will be reduction to $500.
Motion for $500.
Second. We love you.
Do we have a motion?
Yes.
And a second? All in favor?
Discussion,
Aye.
discussion.
Whoa. Discussion, you're right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Yeah,
Discussion?
I would have motioned for 0 because of the homestead.
Well, okay.
You want a motion to 0?
Yeah.
No, you have a
Hold on,
motion. and a
wait. We have a
second.
motion and a second.
I withdraw the motion.
Withdraw.
Just a
Motion
discussion.
withdrawn.
Okay, those two motions have been withdrawn. We have a motion for 0.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Glad I'm the last one. Good
Wait
night.
for your order.
Wait for
Don't
your
go.
order, wait for your order.
That lady, when it.
Over there, yep.
Do we have any more?
Okay,
About-
I have
we have a
no
lot
further
more?
cases. Elizabeth, we're ready for absentia cases.
There's absentia cases, but we could have no quorum and then stop. There's a number of cases or no shows. That's why you have the inspectors here. The people did not show up. We're going to proceed to adjudicate in absentia unless there's no quorum.
Okay.
How many do we have in absentia? That we have inspectors here for?
Getting a little late.
All these inspectors here are for those cases.
But how many cases?
About 20, 25.
Today,
Up to the board.
for
What do
the
you want?
record, it's up to you. You guys make the call. We adjudicated 25.
Reset.
Today, we adjudicated 25 cases. We probably have 1,000 in the docket.
I was wondering
Just letting
about
you
that.
know. Yeah, so am I.
I can stay till 8:30. Does everybody willing to push through to 8:30?
15 minutes. Let's go.
I know
Sure, I'll stay till
Page
8:30
10,
and then I'm
the
out.
address is 1341 Northwest 56th Street. Inspector La Sonia Bailey. Not here. Reset. We're resetting number 10. Reset. Okay, the next one is page 13. The address is 336 Southwest 3rd. I don't know if it's 5th Avenue or 3rd. 5th Avenue on Jacob Medvin. Please, very charming.
Look at
Please
this.
state your name and official position.
Inspector Medvin, Southeast.
Okay, did you issue a citation to the property at 336 Southwest 5th Avenue?
Yes,
And did you provide me with your file in this case?
yes,
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the pictures of the violations as well as your notes, correct?
correct,
Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser and Sunbiz, correct?
correct,
And Exhibit C are the official notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
correct.
And just to put it on the we'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Admitted.
Okay, and just to put it into the record, you cited them for failure to maintain the vacant lot. How high would you estimate they allowed this horrible condition to grow?
Yeah, I mean, it's at head level. And the reason why I want it to be guilty for repeat offenders because it's been like that. I've given them a violation 3 times in the past year, and it's right across from the elementary school next to Jose Marti. So
Oh,
I didn't feel like that was too acceptable.
Right, so we are requesting a guilty, 5 days to come into compliance, and
500.
$500 a day thereafter.
So
Motion.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, the next one is, hold on.
12,
The
12,
next one is 22.
12
page
minutes left.
22.
What?
Page 22,
Page 22.
guilty, fine, 500. Please state, where's our inspector? Oh my God.
Page 22.
I did.
Is 1915
Andrea
Northwest 22nd.
Aquino. Please state your name and official position.
Andrea Aquino, Core Compliance Inspector, North Central Office.
Did you issue a citation to the property at 1915 Northwest 22nd Avenue?
Yes, I did.
Okay, did you provide me with your file in this case?
Yes.
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs that you obtained of the violations, as well as the records from the building department and your notes, correct?
Yes.
Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, as well as any and all records, warranty deeds and whatnot.
Yes.
And Exhibit C are the official notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Admitted.
Okay, and you cited them for illegal units, work without a permit, and encroaching into the required yards and open space requirements, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and we're requesting a guilty finding, 5 days to come into compliance. This is commercial use by Miss Julia Hernandez. She has illegal units on her property. We're requesting guilty, 5 days, $250 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
Motion.
Move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the next one that we have is page 29. It's complied, Jean-Francois. Okay, the next one that we have is page 31. Magali Johnson. Please state your name and official position.
Magali Jensen, Code Compliance, BTU.
Okay, and did you issue a citation to the property at 856 Southwest 2nd Street?
I'm sorry, they complied.
Oh, I love you. Complied. Okay, the next one that we have is page 34, and that is Christian Torres. Please state your name and official position.
Inspector Torres, Code Compliance.
Did you issue a citation to the property at 6763 West Flagler Street?
What's the address again?
I have the subject property, 6763 West Flagler
No,
Street.
that's a reset.
Reset.
Reset. Okay, reset. So that's Flagler Shopping is reset? Okay. All right, the next one that I have is page 42. And the inspector is Fabi Lubin. Please state your name and official position.
Fabi Lubin, Code Compliance North Office.
Okay, did you issue a citation to the property at 301 Northeast 58th Street?
Yes.
Okay, and did you provide me with your file in this case?
Yes.
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs that you obtained of the violations as well as your own notes?
Yes.
And Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct? And Exhibit C are the records and summonses and notices required by Florida law, correct?
Yes.
We'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record. Okay, and you cited the property owner for failure to maintain the lot in a safe, clean condition and allowing debris and trash, as well as failure to register a vacant structure. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, we're requesting a guilty, 5 days to come into compliance, and I believe it's owned by, yes, and $500 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next one that I have is page 50. The inspector is Dennis Uriarte. Please state your name and official position.
Inspector Uriarte, Co-Compliance Central.
Okay, did you issue a citation to the property at 85 Northwest 10th Street?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and did you provide me with your file in this case?
Yes.
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs that you obtained of the violations as well as your own personal notes, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And Exhibit C are the notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record. Mr. Chairman?
Admitted.
Thank you. And this was, you cited them for outside storage of materials as well as graffiti and trash placed in the back of the building, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we're requesting a guilty finding, 5 days to come into compliance, $500 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
So move.
Motion. All in favor?
Aye.
The next one that we have is page 61. And that is Inspector Dennis Uriarte. Please state your name and official position. What about 1801? Oh, you closed it. Got it. Okay. Yeah, yes. The next one that I have is page 72. The address is 1841 Northwest First Court, and it is Tiana Hallman. That's a reset, correct? I have it as reset.
Where is
It is not reset?
No.
Hold on.
No.
Okay, they were mailed out March 30th. Okay. Please state your name and official position.
Inspector Hallman, Co-Compliance Central Office.
Okay, did you issue a citation to the property at 1841 Northwest First Court?
Yes.
Okay, and did you provide me with your file in this case?
Yes.
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs and your research on the property, as well as your notes, correct?
Yes.
And Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
Yes.
And Exhibit C are the notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
Yes.
We'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Admitted.
Thank you. And you cited them for work performed without a permit and failure to keep improved a property free and clear of excavations and depressions. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and what you have is debris, cement blocks, basically everything that shows that they were doing work without a permit.
Yes.
Correct? We're requesting a guilty finding, 5 days to come into compliance, $500 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
So move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The next one is page 75. Nope, that's complied. Thank you. The next one is.
What page was that? I'm sorry.
75.
Thank you.
The next one that we have is page 87. And that is, nope, I have it as reset, Tiana. No? I don't know what's going on. All your stuff? Okay, please state your name and official position.
Inspector Hallman's Co-Compliance Central Office.
Okay, did you issue a citation to the property at 3301 Northeast First Avenue, Unit 103?
Yes.
Okay, and did you provide me with your file in this case?
Yes.
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs that you took of the property as well as the measuring. Were you measuring for noise?
No, I was measuring to see the distance of the chairs because they're supposed to have 5 feet, I believe, 5 inches, 5 feet.
And also,
For pedestrians to walk.
Exhibit A includes the notes that you had in the file.
Yes.
Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
Yes.
And Exhibit C are the notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
Yes.
We'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.